What's going on, you guys? It is another week in wrestling. I know we skipped a week and you missed us, and we had to come back and give you the best part of the show, and that's these three faces. Sorry, Baca, I don't know where you at, man, but it is a flow show for the love of wrestling. It's probably fly fishing or something, in some type of cranberry barge. Just
it's like it feels like every week he's making up something new that we know Baca wouldn't do either. He'll be like, I'm gonna go look at a lamppost, and I'm like, what? You gonna miss the podcast for that?
That sounds like some Baca shit.
He gonna come back. He gonna come back and cut this promo on me when he get back.
Oh, right.
Man.
He's like, they trying so hard to make you me.
No, straight up just walks in. It's like, you got the waves. You know what they do for Baca? They just turn the mic on. Just like dumb shit like that, man. But what's good, Mac Lowe, Brian Andrew, Kwency Jones, go, man. We did take a week off, but shit has hit the fan and fucking fell into the atmosphere as well. This is crazy. I guess we should start with the releases. That's kind of like the big thing.
Man.
Well, fuck. I mean, well, let me do this. Let me do something I was gonna do last week, but we skipped. I actually have a response since we're on the topic of releases. I got a response from Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark. He's actually finally speaking out against. I don't know if did you guys ever get a chance to? Did you hear about this or read this at all?
Yeah,
I saw it, but I didn't really give it the time of day.
I mean,
they just said they're false, right?
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, we kind of wish we would have got this, months ago. You know what I mean?
Word.
But it's weird because it was funny because I was reading it and then like as I'm reading it on the Kwency Junction, my brother just totally like flipped. He's like, man, I knew there was some. I'm like, bro, you would just hate this fool.
No. But
like, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'll read it because it's for those who kind of just said fuck this guy. Like, to me, it's worth the you know what I mean. It's worth getting his side of it out. So bear with me. I'm trying to see now. It's all fucking out of order. This is bullshit. I don't like this. Oh, okay. All right, I got it, guys. You ready? This is the level of professionalism we got here on the show, right?
Yeah. Top tier.
He says the allegations from April 20th, 2020 have effectively derailed any upward momentum I had professionally and has ultimately resulted in my termination with WWE. My name is Patrick Clark, not the Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream is a character that I have spent years developing and trying to bring to life. The success of the Dream character relied heavily on kayfabe, my ability to blur Patrick Clark from Tough Enough with this over-the-top personality. The character was conceptualized the day Prince passed, April 21st, 2016. I knew nothing about him at the time, but my thinking was that I could use my interpretation of him to create an on-screen personality vastly different from who I am as a person. Cue in Velveteen Dream, the sexually ambiguous, gender-fluid, self-absorbed diva. And as I learned more about Prince, I began to tame certain aspects of the character, aspects that I deemed way too over the top and inconsistent with who Prince was as a performer. Now, before I unpack, I will say I enjoyed the many stories I've been able to share on camera, and I'm grateful to the many people who trusted me with their safety and wellness. Thank you to any and everybody who enjoyed it and allowed me to be my character, whether you paid a ticket or walked up on me in Walmart. My goal was to provide you with the same escape that I was offered when I first started watching. My job was to play a character and to help advance storylines and drama for the fans who cared to tune in. To me, addressing rumors would be working against an already compromised ability to sell a character. So that's him basically explaining why he didn't right away say anything. He's basically saying that it was already like he's working against an already compromised position of this character that he's invested in so heavily. After I had been accused, I was given the opportunity to be in a storyline that lasted a few months. I worked in a few segments unrelated to the story, but now I feel comfortable in this position to share with you the details of my accusations. Yeah, it's I don't know. Pretty much he says okay, here we go. He says from April 20th from his verified account, he posted a story to his followers. basically letting him know that his DMs are open, received a few different messages ranging from the support to heckling, some asking him about how to get started in pro wrestling. Says he responded to a few, but not all. And of the few, he responded to the one account, which would be the guy who would accuse him, named Jacob. Got someone trying to call my line. I'm busy doing podcast shit. Let me see. And he says in the conversation, there was a lot of stuff that he edited. That there was because he didn't believe that it was actually him running the account. So he said he sent him like a voice message that he then like cut up. And trust me, I heard that's my thing. I was like, first he tried. I think he tried to say that it wasn't his voice, but when you hear, I'm like, no, that's you, bro. Like that's for sure you. But if he's now saying that he did, and that's the reasoning, it does. I mean, the logic makes sense. I'm not saying that that's what it is, but he does. He's asking about the dude's physique and whether he's close to any wrestling schools, aesthetic as far as being a believable pro wrestler, look wise, all that stuff. I mean, he kind of goes on to pretty much bring up the nature of the original conversation, but then he goes on to say that there's this other guy that he met at a meet and greet from Tough Enough in 2015, the year before, named Josh. He's the guy that was like, I guess him and Jacob exchange information on Twitter, and he's alleging that all of a sudden there's this grooming story. This because he complained. Josh's beef is he originally complained about. It's weird. He complained, but he didn't. He's like, yeah, like just kind of like this weird, like weird energy towards me. Like he wasn't being like sexually aggressive or anything like that. Like it was nothing sexual, but yeah, I can't help but feel like uncomfortable. I'm like, then what is it then? I mean, you're saying that it's not sexual, like you're doubling down that it's not, but then it's enough to make you like say like, oh, it's just some type of shifty shit going on. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He's alleging that those two kind of like, created this brainchild of trying to take this guy down. Because I guess he said Josh, with the long story short, Josh began wrestling, got a concussion. He was still in a little bit of contact with them because he wasn't Velveteen Dream yet. He, as he says, he was still riding the wave of like the Tough Enough shit. But I guess he was asking him his advice about the concussion. He was like, dude, you shouldn't. He's telling him not to wrestle. And he said, and the guy got kind of like angry at him about it and like was adamant that he was still wanting to wrestle. So he explains that he, in an attempt to separate himself from the situation, he seized all communications with him because he didn't want him to further do something, some damage like brain damage or whatever down the line based on anything that he's going to say that he got from him. So he was just like, dude, this guy's going to hurt himself. Like, he's not listening to me. I'm telling him what not to do. He's just going to do whatever he's going to do. So he's pretty much, painting this picture that this guy is scorned from, him, I guess his point of view, like he has access to this, someone that's in the business, quote unquote, at the time, and that he just kind of feels like shut out. So I don't know, man. Like I'll send you guys like the other, because there's some other like actual like specific facts that he's bringing up. Again, that not saying he's right, but it sews up a lot of the holes that we were wondering, like, well, what, you know what I mean? Because all we heard was their testimony or accusations. You know what I mean? We never heard nothing from him, nothing from WWE. But like I said, I'm not sitting up here being on the soapbox for him, but I thought as much as we've talked about it in the past, it was worth me bringing finally at least his side to it, because that's all we really wanted, to be honest.
Don't buy it.
Don't buy it.
Bro, I look at it like this. With the way the world is now, with accusations coming out that are true and disgusting, and accusations that are coming out that are false and equally disgusting to put somebody in that position. If somebody comes and says that you did something that's anywhere remotely close to this lane of like any type of sexual misconduct, any type of anything in that realm, I don't know a person in their right mind who could sit on that information, like with a conscience of, I didn't do this thing and these accusations are coming towards me. I couldn't be quiet for a year and just not say anything about the shit if I knew I didn't do it, right? Because have you ever been in trouble for something that you didn't do?
Yeah.
You're loud about it because you know I'm right, and eventually
I was gonna say you're
right.
very adamant.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're wrong, you be like, well, shit. If ain't nobody gonna say nothing, I ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying?
How can I finesse this? Yeah.
Yeah. But when you're right and somebody's trying to play you, you are loud about it because you know you're right. It's like if you're playing a game that you know you're gonna win, you want to play because it's like, look, I know how this plays out. So when you're right about something, especially somebody accusing you something that could be super detrimental to your character, your livelihood, all of that, how could you sit for 360 some odd days from April to May basically and not address it? That's weird to me.
I'm wondering if there was any, I mean, obviously we're not going to get the whole story out of whatever he's, the narrative he's going to put out. I'm wondering if there was maybe instruction for him not to say anything from brass. I mean,
and that's what I'm saying. Even then, I would be like, yo, no, this is my life, not yours.
He's like, do you want to get paid? You're like, yeah, but I don't want to get paid while people think I'm a fucking dirtbag on TV.
Exactly.
You know what I
mean? But his lawyers could have at the time been the WWE lawyers, and the WWE lawyers could have recommended.
That's true because
that's messy.
I mean, because I hate to always.
But again,
like I hate. Go ahead.
If that's the case. If they want to keep it all packaged and nice and neat, then that means that at the very least it's messy because something's there. So if it was just like, nah, this dude is tripping, this guy and this guy met up, they would just push that information out to the forefront. Like, this is what really happened, actually. And shit would have been deaded in a month.
From WWE history, though.
No, I was just gonna say because they usually will just not even be like, no, this is what really, because they're weird. Like they ain't gonna go out there. Like they're weird because they still like to keep up kayfabe when they want.
That's so stupid. Who has time for that? This is real life.
But it's the real, like, I'm like this. It's the reason why they're not gonna ever comment on Hogan when they put Hogan on TV.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like because it's just like they're not gonna comment on like. I don't know, like what I was gonna say before was, I hate to always bring up Enzo as like, but he's like kind of the first real example of some shit that can go left like that with the false accusations and shit like that. I don't agree with the way he handled it, but I'd have to imagine if they would have known about it before they found out about it the way they did, that they probably would have had him, especially Enzo, the way he'd get the gab. You know what I'm saying? Like they definitely would have told him not to say shit. You know what I mean? But
because in the Enzo situation, it was because he didn't let them know, and it kind of hit them from out of nowhere.
They found out the same way everybody else found out. Yeah, so it was
whereas I think Velveteen Dream's situation is he found out when they found out.
Yeah.
So also,
yeah, because it's like it's one thing to have already know some shit's going down, and then you don't say anything. But when you find out, it's.
And if this is all true, like let's just say the story is true. When the WWE did say they did their own investigation and found out there was nothing, it makes sense, especially on WWE history, to then say we found nothing, and then they try to keep it on the DL, brought him back a few times,
like slowly,
right. It makes sense from that perspective now because it is super WWE thing to try to keep things on the low and then eventually try to bring people back.
I mean, and they are
just going to work after a year.
They've gone public, so I think from a promo and marketability standpoint, they kind of have to, go about it that way. As far as like, all right, we're gonna hush it up, and then we're gonna slowly try to bring you back to see what the temperature is. And I get it because one bad blunder affects the whole. You know what I mean? It's representative of the company, but I mean, I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. But before I get all wrapped up in that, because I know we could talk forever about the dream or the, I guess, and that's the thing. The only other interesting thing about that whole kind of, I guess, letter that he wrote is he pretty much, lays to rest the Velveteen Dream character, says rest in peace, Patrick Clark. It's kind of sad, but again, there's a lot that we don't know, a lot that we, it's not up to us, but public opinion is a hell of a thing. But it sucks to know that, again, this is a character that we openly like supported and stuff like that before all this happened. and to know that it's just like he's kind of like, well, it's done. Like I'm never doing. I mean,
I
like
do
even
think he'll be able to find work now. Like based on this letter, I think he'll find some work now. I think if
maybe
people
but
do their own
I don't
investigations, but before this letter, I honestly thought he was just never going to be able to wrestle again.
Well,
yeah, that's what it looked like.
I don't know if this letter helps him or not, because there's a history of people actually putting out a statement about stuff that's been, you know, like Marty Scurll, he wrote something, but like the moment he showed up in New Japan, he got fucking like they cut that part of the show out, and now he's not wrestling nowhere. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not even up to it's not up to these companies, it's up to the public opinion and how it's going to make their company,
Right.
you know. So
well, in Marty Scurll's case,
I feel bad for Marty, bro. Like
I think Marty should have a job still, but
yeah, I do too.
Marty, in Marty's case, the act still necessarily happened. It's just how we perceive it, and I think a lot of people are having a hard time on how they perceived it. Whereas in Velveteen's Dream's case, we're now learning that might not have even happened, and so until his is more of an innocent till proven guilty situation now.
Yeah, 100%.
Than maybe Marty's. Marty's is guilty till proven innocent.
Yeah, so, and that's what's crazy, is because it goes back to what Mac was saying in the group chat about, like, sometimes it doesn't matter what these people do. If there's enough people that still like them, they will give them a pass for it for certain things. And it's like, yeah, that's a part of it that sucks. But you know what? Let's bring up some wrestling though. Let's bring up some. Well, we got some other news. We got some major releases.
Major.
So we had, I guess from the bottom up, we had Santana Garrett, which I honestly thought she was already gone. No shade.
I'm not gonna lie, I confuse her with Chelsea Green all the time.
I mean, when I hear Santana Garrett, like I'm thinking, oh, the one from Impact, but then there's like 3 girls I'm thinking of, and it's like one of them is when like Rebel used to wrestle. So I'm like, oh wait, no, not her. No, oh yeah, and Chelsea Green, I think, is the other one. You're right.
There was like a 2 to 3 year period where people were going from Impact to NXT, back to Impact, being released, going back and forth.
Yeah,
to the point where I have no idea where they're at right now.
I mean, so it was Santana Garrett. Was it Ruby Riott?
She just had a match.
Yes. You know what was crazy is, like, she just got released 3 days ago now. And then I was watching SmackDown, and it's like Liv Morgan back to her old music, not even a mention of like Ruby, like just had a match. But then now we're just like, oh, that didn't happen. It's a whole new reality.
Yeah. Just give Liv Morgan Ruby Riott's music with a new Titantron. I don't see what the issue is.
I mean, because you know what's weird about that is when Sarah Logan got released, they mentioned her when she was gone a little bit on commentary. But it's like, I hate when they do that, because it's like to me, I always thought that it would be a classy thing for them to on air like wish them some wishes, like in case people don't follow the news and shit like that. Because how you know some of these people aren't like fans, like little kids, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, oh, what happened to the Iconics? Yo, what happened to, you know what I mean?
So I was just about to make that point where I was like thinking to myself too, is like,
because they did that with Macho Man back in the day.
Some people might be invested in the Ruby Riott or the Riott Squad. Maybe not entirely, but just invested maybe in the women's tag division. And they're like, and then all of a sudden 1 week Ruby Riott, and then maybe Ruby Riott's not on TV for a month, and you're like, what happened?
Yeah,
I mean, like, we know what happened.
It could even be a situation of the match that they had last week got you into her, and then you came to watch her the next week, and you're like, wait, what? Like, so,
and that they've done that with about, I think, 3 different storylines, because the same thing could be said about next person, Aleister. Literally just came back.
Bro, I couldn't. I was thinking, like, I'm like, were they giving him mad bread on this deal, or I don't know what? I mean, because that's what the rumor is for Braun, right? It's because they needed the money, but it's like, yo, you just had him come back and kick Big E's head off. So what are we supposed to act like he didn't cost him that fatal 4-way and move forward now?
Right. And now you got KO and Apollo doing their thing, and then they introduced Sammy to that. But the fold of the Big E Aleister in that title picture is just gone now.
It's gone.
And apparently they filmed the segment. So like they had a segment for this Friday that was filmed already.
That's really whack, bro. Like,
and so that sucks, because Big E has been building his singles catalog. You know what I'm saying? And
honestly, for both of them, that was going to be a good program. Like, I don't know if they walked away, but I feel like I feel like they would have probably traded wins. You know what I mean? I thought that would it would have showed Big E in a more serious role or against a more serious opponent. You know what I mean? You know, he like I don't know, man. It's weird, but yeah, we had Aleister.
I think the Aleister Black thing, though, I think does, even if I don't know how to say this, but even if they got past this already, there's got to be something in the back of some people's minds with this Lena Vega situation. And there's rumors that she resigned.
Yeah,
but that might not have been true either, because I haven't heard anything official that she resigned. I just heard that she's at the Performance Center.
Did I tell you guys what my theory was on that? Because you know they made it a big deal that she's at the Performance Center and she was what they say she was escorting The Rock's daughter in, right? I don't think she was signed. I think that they were filmed because they said there was a film crew. So I think that The Rock is filming something for his daughter. And when you think about it, she already has a relationship with The Rock with the Fighting with My
Family movie. They're like good friends, I think.
Well, remember she played AJ Lee, yeah, you know. So
I was there. I was there.
That night, yeah, dude. I remember that. That shit was like you know, she ain't white though, right? Like, you see, can we clear up the complexion just a little bit? No, I remember watching the movie. I was like, nah, that's Tia. I was like, I can't take my mind off it. I can't. But so I was thinking, I was like, who's to say that she wouldn't be helping his daughter, you know, train in the PC? And it's like, when you think about it, it's The Rock, right? So if The Rock's like, nah, so I'm gonna have a film crew coming to the PC. Oh, great, Rock. Okay, who's gonna be there? Like, but Tia's gonna be there, and y'all gonna let her be there because I'm The Rock. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know who else
and
would have that pull to be able to do that.
She has her own she has her clothing line, and I know Rhea and what's her name? Simone model for her.
I seen her. Rhea Ripley, right? Crew. Yeah. I seen that, and then it's crazy. So I mean, that's why I was thinking, because I was like, I think we would have saw or heard something by now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But even then, it's like to bring her back for what? Andrade's gone. I mean,
her whole squad is out of here.
I mean, Angel Garza is out of. He's shoving flowers up people's pants for some reason.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's
being a physical thorn in Drew Gulak's ass. I don't know.
Just summing up Raw in a minute.
Yeah, that's pretty. Y'all ain't missing shit.
That's what's going on Raw. No, man. Angel Garza's putting roses up people's butts.
I do have. So that's what I've been missing. No wonder the ratings are going down. Damn, we need more flowers in the asses. Damn it! No, like I do have a quote from Aleister Black. Actually, Tommy N now says, I'm gathering my thoughts as this was a complete left field for me, as obviously we just started the Dark Father character, but this was it. Thank you so much, WWE Universe, for allowing me to create and give you small bits of myself. So, but I don't know. But Braun Strowman, obviously the headlining the WWE Release of Mania Hall of Fame.
It's like a release train at this point.
Bro, like I mean,
every couple of months we get some more.
It's crazy. I mean, because even that's true for sure with the Strowman Express, right? Like fucking.
I didn't even realize what I did until I did it.
Braun Strowman got out at a good time. Braun Strowman got out at a good time.
Honestly, like I don't. It's weird because like they even been doing some as they call it, spring cleaning, so to speak, with like their actual staff, like corporate staff and shit. Like they've been consolidating certain departments together, and I'm like, okay, y'all ramping up for something, you know what I mean? Like, but I heard Nick Khan's been getting busy, bro. Like I heard that fool's been making shit happen that the McMahons don't even know, because he's the actual president. So it's like I don't know, like a lot of people think that he's setting up a sale unbeknownst to them, and then to the point where it's like, surprise, they're offering us a couple billion. Like,
well, this is the thing, like, and it depends on, because let's just say they are looking at possible people to buy, or maybe they're just really like, hey, if we cut this $1 million, we'll be this much more efficient, right? So the large chunk of that would probably be Braun Strowman's contract, which is, I rumored, around $1.2 million. But Santana Garrett's probably not costing you anything, so maybe that was just to round it up to a certain point.
I was, but then that's what makes me question. Used either. She doesn't have merchandise, like she has nothing.
That's what makes me question, unless she was rumored to go up to SmackDown. She was told she was going to go up to SmackDown this Friday, and that means she was going to receive a pay bump, and that pay bump might have made it where this release would have been more significant.
You're like, hey, we're gonna promote you, but fire you before you start.
Yeah. You guys ever used to play Madden franchise mode?
Yeah.
So when you're trying to sign a big free agent, you got to make some bread.
I was gonna say that salary cap. Yep.
The first thing you do is go over to the ratings, hit the thing so it sorts from highest to lowest. You go all the way down to the bottom, the guys you are not gonna miss if they're gone, and you release all of those, get all that money, and then you release, because that's not gonna take up a whole lot of money, right? It's a lot of little pieces, but then you find like 2 or 3 big chunks that you're like, you know what, we could probably do without this one. And it's a sacrifice, but you gotta get that money off the books.
We got cut a couple corners and make these
yeah.
Man. You got 3 tight ends making over $10 million.
Yeah, somebody gotta go.
We don't need all 3, y'all.
We can handle a 62 overall backup, you know. So
like
you're just a tight end, bro. Calm down. You don't need the cheese. Go
that's
home.
What I'm saying.
Go home.
So that's why a lot of these, if you look at every group, a lot of them are like overall lower, but it's like damn.
Yeah, they'll have like the headliner, as I call it, right? The big name.
Yeah.
Like or I guess the standout. You're like, really?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I was not. Aleister, everyone was kind of thinking that was going to come just because we hadn't seen him before the vignettes. But dude, there's been a rumor that supposedly, I think Gulak, Keith Lee, and 3 other people were supposedly in talks of getting released too. I'm like, what is going on?
That's crazy because Keith Lee hasn't yet, I feel like, been burned yet. You know, he's come close, but he hasn't got to the point where he's
miss Keith.
A bad call up yet. He's had some injuries, but he has the Randy Orton win. He was supposed to win the United States Championship off of who had it? Riddle? No, it was before. It was Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley. Yeah.
So Keith Lee, I still think has some kind of, I'm not gonna say pull, but I guess some kind of respect backstage.
Yeah, I think he can come back to a little bit of momentum if he comes back.
The rest are just like,
I'm just hoping it's not health related or anything super serious, because I don't know, man.
He's been down for a minute, man.
Well, because I'm not gonna lie, bro. Just the disappearance with no update, it's just real reminiscent of what Brody went through before he passed.
That's true.
And so that's why it's just super I took that shit light, bro, before I found out he passed. So that shit was oh fuck, shit.
It kind of reminds me of Jason Jordan too.
Yeah.
How he was kind of doing his thing, and then all of a sudden he wasn't on TV.
See, but we actually had an explanation for that. It was he was having some nerve situation with his neck, and he couldn't make a full grip when he was wrestling. So from what I understand, he never was able to kind of make that full recovery. But I think for now, they're trying to help him keep his options open in case, there's so many success stories now, you never know. But I know he's been doing some backstage producing, he's been aging matches and shit. I was like, yo, that's pretty legit. Let me ask you this: out of the 5 that we named, who, whether you're AEW or whoever, anyone but WWE, who would you pick up? I mean,
Braun Strowman's the biggest name. The guy beat Shane. As much as I think he's boring, he beat Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. He was in a title match right before he got released. He beat Goldberg the year before, even though no one cared. But he's been in main event programs, and he's been the big guy in the WWE for the last 3 or 4 years.
So you just reminded me, I forgot I have a quote from Uncle Dave here about him being that giant. There has been speculation that another reason why he got let go is they're thinking that with Almas kind of towering over him, that there's no need for him. Not really but
you only have one big guy at a time.
Imagine Strowman being too short for wrestling.
What? That doesn't make sense.
What made him he referenced the fact that they kind of did the same thing with Big Show. Big Show was there, but Strowman came in, and then they kind of fed Big Show to Strowman, and Strowman's gone.
That's different. That's very different.
Yeah, I mean, he granted he shouldn't have been wrestling that long anyways.
Yeah, at that point, Big Show's knees were touching at all times.
I mean,
he was collapsing in on himself.
He can't help it. So it was like Kofi's chest, but on his knee.
You remember how Robert Horry used to shoot threes? That's how Big Show's knees always look.
Damn, yeah, because he kept them close. It was an arch. It was like, yeah. Fuck. But yeah, he said like all of a sudden, Braun Strowman has a legit 6'6" when he got Almas, who's the new toy, who's 7'7". Braun Strowman's size was a big thing when he had size and power. Now they're going with the new giant. He can't be the giant anymore when you got this guy who's legitimately 9 inches taller than him. Granted,
so don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he said, granted, Strowman's got the big body and everything like that, but you can only do the giant thing when you're the only giant of the company on the brand, but he isn't that guy anymore. I'm like, well, y'all the one who moved him to Raw, asshole.
Well, Strowman's also like between the two, the one that can actually work. Like,
well, no, fuck that. They got Dabba-Kato, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Who makes the rule that this isn't basketball? You can only have one center on the floor.
Like Sean Bradley, we're gonna just sub out why? Because George Merson is on the.
The fucking Dallas Mavericks are playing 2 fucking 7'3" guys.
That's what I'm saying.
Seriously,
this is the problem with it. They have like these boxes that they still try to fit in. Like if this is 1982. And we're all still wearing like Technicolor, you know what I'm saying, but tassels and shit. Like nobody want to see that, bro.
Given where this came from, yeah, stuck in the box from 1980. Yeah, that's Dave Meltzer. That's the rest. That's the Wrestling Observer for you. But
so there's some rumors that Braun Strowman wanted to leave a little bit to do some bodybuilding. There's also some rumors that they're just trying to cut costs. Really,
I just like the way I feel when I'm big.
I'm like, yeah, it's like. Braun Strowman is boring, so I'm not gonna miss him, but it's just surprising that like this is such a WWE guy.
Well, I mean, like I told y'all, I was like, my first thought was like, first of all, that sucks. I hate that anyone's losing their job. You know what I mean? Right. That regardless if I'm a fan or not, I don't want anyone to lose a job. But when I as a joke mood, when I heard that they released him, I was like, fuck, now we're gonna get Drew and Bobby for the rest of the year. Because I'm like, there's no one else, bro. I'm like, and y'all not working on nobody else. Like, to be honest, like, would I like to see Randy and Bobby? Probably. Just
anything.
Yeah, just anything. because it'd be new, right? Yeah. And it's like, man, yeah, go ahead.
I was just to your point though. To your point, there are rumors that Brock Lesnar is going to come back, but
I hope so.
I mean,
but
maybe
that's probably like a one and done.
When you think about it, they do need to make some room to pay that.
Imagine, like, hey, we're going to need 1 point for just one appearance, so let's just get rid of.
And then after Brock leaves, the fiscal year, they bring everybody back.
No, but tell me you can't see like them trying to like do everything they can to appease Brock. He's like, you know what? Get rid of Braun.
And they're like, what?
Oh yeah, they probably have a new financial guy too. The financial guy is probably even saying like he's probably looking at all the numbers. Maybe they have a new analytics team and they're just saying like, if you want to bring Brock back, instead of just bringing Brock and paying Brock, you need to get some money, and then we could bring Brock in. And the thing is, Braun Strowman was just in the title picture. He's not going to do anything special.
Hey, look, if we get Bobby versus Brock, I'm all for that because that's what we've
been. What if Strowman is just like he's just over like pandemic? He just got really passionate about something like I want to be a marine biologist. Like all of a sudden he's got like
have you ever seen a dolphin up close?
It's so majestic.
The dorsal fins allow you to. They're like, yo, he actually educated on this. Hold on.
Yeah, like all of a sudden he's just wild smart about something, and it's like, oh,
these grades.
Yeah,
he's like, oh man, that is because I'm thinking he's like, well, I ran out of gloves that fit me now. I gotta be on my way. Like I mean, I couldn't imagine why he'd want to leave, but that'd be hilarious if that was the reason why. But I will say, like, I don't like. It's weird to me because I'm like this. I don't know if he has a lot of options. There's not a whole lot of options out there when you're coming from this high of a mountain, right? Coming off from New York, as they say. But it's like he's not going to get a company that's going to pay him more, the same or more, unless he goes to AEW. But I mean, like I was saying in the chat, like he said things about the indies, which I mean, AEW is pretty much the glorified indie promotion. You know, he said stuff about Lance Archer, which unless they want to promote a match, okay, then blow it off, and then what? You know what I mean? Who loses? You know, Lance is not even booked well. Like, I don't think that they don't have a good, like, AEW does not have a great track record with how they book big men anyways. Luchasaurus is
Japan.
Bro, okay, so I was thinking I could see him on some Japan, like some new school, like Vader type shit.
Like Monster, like
yeah,
come through with some smoke. Everybody's like, what the fuck, big eyes?
Like, I mean, I already think of some guys that he can, you know, it'd be great business for them, right? But if it's not Japan, I don't want to see him in Impact. I don't know if I don't want, like, my thing is, I don't, even if AEW
he literally can't fit in the Impact arena.
He's like,
it's empty.
Like once he walks in, he can't walk out because it's like one way in type. You're like, sorry, you're just part of the
arena. It's too small in here.
You're just part of the arena now, Braun. I just remember to turn the lights off when you go to sleep, right? We're all good. Cool.
Well, he can do movies. He could do bodybuilding.
I think movies is his way to go if it's not going to be wrestling. I feel bad because, again, like he's been so much on his high horse about WWE, and you know, he would go out of his way to denounce any AEW rumors about anything in the locker room with WWE and shit. And he had all this loyalty towards McMahon, and you know, he's went on record to say he's helped save his life when he was like feeling like hurting himself and shit. And it's just like, sorry, pal. Like it's just crazy, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, so
I can't believe you've done this.
So I wouldn't put it past that something like this might affect him to a point where he may not even be wanting to wrestle anymore. Like, he's like, man, I'm cool with wrestling. Like, you know what? Let me make some cheese and do some stunts or something. Like I told my brother, I'm like, he's a few years too late for Game of Thrones, but he would fit right in, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, put that bitch on Vikings. You know what I'm saying? Like something, you know. I think no one's expecting him to do anything eloquent, right? But if they ever wanted to redo the Bonesaw scene for Spider-Man, I mean, I ain't mad if they want to get, or
what he should do is reach out to Batista. And be like, all right, bro, I'm trying to get on this road, hook it up. And Batista would be like, because you know Batista's like a super thespian, bro.
That fool, like, yeah, he
push his glasses up.
I got way more respect for Batista as an actor now.
Yeah,
it's like I've been watching a lot more of his interviews and stuff like that. So I'm like,
he takes it real serious, bro.
Yeah.
If Braun called Batista, like, look, I'm trying to get into it and do it the right way. I know I got to do some classic big man shit first, but hook it up. I think he'll put him on.
Yeah, no, I think he's like, well, you know, I kind of like your tattoo, so you already check out one box from me, right? You know, I think that'll be kind of cool though. I mean, like, I think he could kind of point him in the right direction. I mean, you don't want to give no one the whole game. You want to make sure that they, you know, are going to be able to put their own footprint on it and work for it. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, y'all gonna laugh. It's my age showing, but y'all remember that movie Double Dragon?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Tell me he wouldn't be a great modern day Bobo. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Hollywood. I'm asking. I'm pleading with you. You know what I'm saying? But no. On the other side, I mean, you think he'd hit up The Rock? Like, come on, it's Braun and the Brahma Bull. Let's go.
The Brahma Bull.
I'm sure he could find like a
like, can I be part of the crew? I just want to roll with the crew. I just want to clang and bang.
Like, put me in Fast 10.
There's a lot of wrestling shows on. There's like one that's supposed to start on Stars.
Oh yeah, there's his Heels, right? With
there's The Rock has no show. I'm sure Braun Strowman could just be like
he'll be fine.
Honestly,
because there's not too many dudes walking around looking like that.
Look, I was gonna say he can probably possibly play somebody. He could possibly maybe play like, I don't know where he'd fit in, but if The Rock's gonna do another season of what he's doing, maybe he can play another old school wrestler or something like that. You know? What I mean? But
also, I think he could be on a sabbatical for a little while, and then
I believe so as well.
We're gonna see him. We're gonna see him in a Jason Statham movie first.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
He's gonna get like wheel kicked, and he's just gonna eat it and not sell it, and then we're gonna see him in like some bigger shit after that.
And then he's like, true, and then he chases him around a thing.
It's gonna be like, what was that one cat? Was it Nathan? Oh shit! He was this dude that came out of jail. I don't know if you guys remember. He was like beefing with the Undertaker back in the day. It was like Nathan Jones, I think his name was.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that dude.
He disappeared, and I saw him in the movie. I'm like, yo, is that Nathan Jones? Like,
he about to be in John Wick 4.
Oh, bro, like that. But it was like one of the. If I didn't recognize him, I'm like, oh, he belongs in this movie. Like, he has a look. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think because people who don't know who Braun is, like, I think he could make some bread off that entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only one I'm wondering is where does Aleister go?
I think Alex is gonna pop up in AEW.
Yeah, he could pop up anywhere and just be a star.
Yeah, but I feel like if he goes to Impact, he's kind of like too popping there. It would be a step down.
No,
I think if he goes to AEW,
it's kind of like when
Cody right into something.
It was like when Cody went to Impact. I was like, bro, you're too hot for Impact, bro. Like,
I
was like, you're going just to get your name out there, but I was like, maybe just stay in Ring of Honor or New Japan right now. But
I can see him going to AEW and then they put him right in the middle of something.
I can see him in Ring of Honor. I ain't gonna lie. I could see
Ring of Honor might work too.
But Japan, I don't think would.
Nah,
I don't know what he'd do. They're a little bit. I don't know. Like they don't have like the production budget, so to speak, as far as media that like AEW or WWE would do.
He just needs to go anywhere he goes. Just black mass someone right off the bat, and
that's it.
This is what we talked about. Yeah,
that's it.
Like honestly. Lights go out, lights come back on. You just see him just for 2 seconds before he just hits that swing around, bam, and then that's it. That's all. You don't need to say shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'll tell you this. When they made a big deal about, somebody special is going to show up, and it was Christian, and I was kind of like, all right. And then we got Sting, and I was decent, but it's Sting, and he's like 67,000 years old. But then
Hey, he was good though. He did. I ain't gonna
he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
But if they don't say nothing, and there's a feud going on between who and who, and backup comes down, and then at the end somebody comes in to save everybody, and it's Aleister, the pop is gonna be crazy. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a nice.
In my head, I'm already thinking he gonna have to kick off Kenny Omega's head.
Well, okay.
That might be the biggest pop right there.
Well, let's talk about this. So there's Kenny. So there's the AEW World Championship. There is the TNT Championship. There's the Tag Championships, and then there's a Cody Rhodes feud. Those are the 4 main titles in wrestling.
If he pulls up and kicks Rusev, it would just put him in that same space, that mid card.
Yeah, and that's my thing is like I feel like he was getting ready for something real big with what they had planned. The dude got in great shape too. He was just sitting at home just getting it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh man, I don't know.
I think he should come and kick off Cody Rhodes' head off, because I do think personally now, based on what happened last Sunday, Cody Rhodes is kind of a jackass. So
dude,
I think he's getting that mixed John Cena feel pretty soon, and then an Aleister Black Mass. So it would be a Tommy End Black Mass. People are gonna pop.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I was really hoping, because I did hear he put in a request to either go to NXT UK or NXT, and they didn't. Not that they didn't let him; they just kind of vetoed it. But I wish he would have went back to NXT, because I would have loved to see him versus Cross. I think that would have been pretty dope. You know what I mean? I could see him hitting Cross with a blackout. He like Cross would eat it, of course, and like get back up.
And then get back up.
Yeah, and then he'd have to hit him with another one like while he's on his leg just to knock him out. I'm like, that'd be great. That's a good sight, you know. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's crazy. Not that I wouldn't do anything. Like Buddy Murphy, that's another one. Like I think we were saying the way my brother said he has Impact written all over him. I was like, I'm like, to be honest, I don't want to say it like that, but I can't escape the fact that he would probably do good in the X division. Kenny Omega, he recently said something positive about him. Buddy Murphy, I'm referring to. So I don't know.
Well, let me put a point. I think like if Buddy Murphy, there's a decent chance they release a bunch of people.
I just thought about it though.
Yeah, what's up?
Didn't his partner get released too, Wesley Blake, his foreign partner?
I don't want to see that shit.
Oh, okay. I feel
so
he said, "Fuck that shit."
if Buddy Murphy could have been, if this was like a normal release year, Buddy Murphy could have been on top of it. He would have been the Braun Strowman on the list. We would have been like, "Where's Buddy going?" But since Buddy is actually behind Aleister Black, Braun Strowman, and if we go back to like Samoa Joe and on some of these NXT,
100%. Yeah,
Buddy Murphy's now in that like, well, everyone else is going to try to get some of these guys. Buddy Murphy's kind of the last one standing at the end of that, and that's why I think it's Impact. Like
if we're picking teams for pickup, like we're picking fives, like he definitely probably be within the last 2 rounds, right?
Right.
Like if the rest of the names you're talking about were already on the squad, you're just like, ooh, I don't know.
Like, and he's arguably, maybe you can make the case that he has more potential than maybe all of them too. Like Samoa Joe is amazing and all that, but we don't know what his injury history is at this stage, and he is older.
If he goes back, I don't know if is he still dating Alexa Bliss?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Because I mean, he could just move back to was it Australia where he's from?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Buddy Murphy.
I mean, he could probably do some Japan stuff.
Is Australia being lenient on those rules? Because didn't Australia recently become COVID free?
I believe so, but also just because of the fact that I think it's an easier flight for him to go to Japan from.
You might have to live in like Indonesia or something, because I don't know if Australia will let him fly to Japan.
Well, I know. Well, I know that freaking I can't remember the name of the other fucking country, because I know what's his name, Big Fale. He used to live there, and then he used to just fly from there from fucking to Japan all the time. So I was like, well, it ain't that bad, or New Zealand. He used to live in New Zealand. I can see him doing some stuff in Japan, but you don't want him to be the wannabe Kenny Omega with the V trigger, right? I mean,
but Kenny Omega would like to work with him, and if this Impact AEW relationship is still somewhat a thing, Buddy Murphy trying to get that Impact title in a few months would not be a bad show.
I can see that.
The Impact, the world champ, against like to beat Kenny for it, or like if Kenny loses it and he beats somebody else for it.
He wouldn't beat Kenny for it, but I think trying to get that match, because Kenny said he would wrestle Buddy Murphy, but it's for the Impact Championship.
See, I think that's how what's his name we didn't just say it. I think it's how Kenny should actually address like the way he defends his title. Since he has all these titles, he should just name who he wants to face and just go, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, if everything is like, I mean, whether it's in AEW or, depending on what company, I mean, it doesn't even matter. Like, say he wants to defend his AEW championship against somebody in Impact, you know what I mean? He should be able to just call a shot and just go, So if like, say if they wanted to bring in Buddy Murphy, since he's free, after his no compete, I'm sure they could work something out, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Like if he just did like an open challenge at Impact's next pay-per-view, and they're just thinking a different, and that's gonna get some hype, right? Because we're gonna be thinking, oh, it could be Samoa Joe, it could be this person, and then Buddy Murphy comes up, people are still gonna kind of mark for that. So they're not gonna mark as if it was Samoa Joe, but
they're like, oh, it's Sting. That was Mac Lowe. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool, I guess.
It's cool.
I'm glad he got some work. That's what's up.
Can I throw something out there to you guys? Christian Cage should have won the
battle me and my brother were. Yeah, go ahead.
Because we just need to get the elephant in the room out, and that's letting Christian have a championship match and then have him lose at some B-level July Dynamite or something like that. And because like he picked up the title at one point, he seems like he's obviously there to be a main event guy eventually, but we don't want to see it. So why don't we just knock it out of the way? And it's an easy way to do it by having him just win that battle royal.
I'm not against, like, I thought I'll put it like this. Out of all, well, I'm just gonna squeeze this in here real quick because I know we're gonna get into AEW now. Did you know that they also released Tom Phillips?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like he didn't even know. He found out at the same as everyone. I was like, fuck.
But he's not a Hall of Fame 7-footer, so he can't do commentary for AEW. So
well, they said that he actually has been doing some stuff for like he was helping out like backstage stuff and producing matches for WWE. Like I was like, y'all got a commentator producing matches? I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. If he knows what he's doing.
He is, in my opinion,
he was good. He was really
the most underrated asset that company had, because he was always the guy who could step up when somebody couldn't.
Honestly,
he ran like 4 different shows at one point.
Dude, like he was on the shows that people weren't even watching, but still put, like, to me, he was the best pick for a replacement for Cole in that role.
I thought that's what he was going to be. I thought eventually when Cole moved out, he was going to be A1.
like, I mean, because I ain't gonna lie, like some of my favorite time, I mean, one of my favorite times in wrestling for WWE was when Kevin Owens and Jericho were doing their thing. And anytime they had a promo with Tom and calling him Tim, Todd, everything but it's like, dude, just gold with that guy. You know what I mean? But like, it was a shame because I was like, because I agree with you. Him and I think that they didn't really appreciate Morrow so much either. But there were times where I was like, Morrow, dial it back. I know you like to let people know you got the urban references on lock, but you're coming off like Hillary in the morning.
Hey man,
show
the second match of the night doesn't need this call right now, so let's save it.
But you know what?
Sasha and Bianca going at it like city girls. Like, shut up, man. Like...
Are we in Paris?
Oh my god, dude, that was great. Yeah, because me and my brother, we used to do shit like that like around the house. We used to shit like, oh, stop, drop, and open up shop. Like all kinds of just. I'm like, yeah, he's down. He's 100% down. But you know what? Yeah, we were talking about AEW and the Christian thing. The booking of the Battle Royale, I wasn't mad at what they were trying to do, but I was mad. I'm like, yo, y'all should have done this last year or last Battle Royale, the Battle Royale before that. But like, that's what y'all should have been doing. But because even my brother was like, because I didn't know he was starting off at 1. And my brother was like, yeah, he should win. When you think about it, he's always talking about how he outworks everyone. What's the best way to do is start as number 1 and outlast everybody. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, you mean give him the edge treatment from Royal Rumble? Okay, cool. Because I was like, dude, I hate it. I was like, can they have him stop doing the spear so we can stop being reminded of where he came from?
First of all, his spear is ass.
Yeah. Well, I'll give him this one. The one he hit on Will Hobbs in the backstage area. Why was that like the best one he's ever hit ever? Like it
I don't mind if he brings it out and like when there's those like really intense back and forth matches and your finisher's not doing it. Throw exactly. Everything out. You just desperation. You're throwing out edge moves now. Then that's when you do it. But don't make it part of your arsenal. No one wants to see you do a fucking spear.
Like I even rather you not even like set it up like you're gonna like call for it. Like, but you'll hit it out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like say like dude's you catch him off the rebound or something, and you just like desperation hit a spear. Like that to me is way better. You know what I
mean? Because if you're gonna call for it and for it to hit like it hits, it's like don't taunt. Like don't do the edge impression. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like I almost wish that it's not worth it.
Like it's something you only do on the outside, like Trent does a lot. Like he'll hit that spear on the outside. I'm like, yeah, I think that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Just keep it light, but
or you do it through a table or something, or
I think bring it out when it makes sense, or you're gonna get the most pop out of it, as opposed to, oh yeah, isn't that Edge's partner? I mean, even when even the Matt Hardy promo, he's like, "You're only good because your partner had Edge" or something. Didn't he say something stupid like that?
Yeah.
And I was like,
"Oh my god!" And what's the name with that goofy ass rap? Did the same shit.
Yeah.
You were better when you had an edge. It's like,
no, we get it now.
He's like, wordplay. Innuendo. It's just fun.
Just get your fucking ass in the ring,
right? Like the best way that AEW's done that is when they had the whole Dean Malenko Jericho conversation like a couple of weeks ago, where he's like, this guy has 1,000 holes. He's like, I don't know if I remember all of them. He was like, yeah, 4 more than me. I was like, that was cool. That was fun. Yeah. I'll give you credit for that one, but it's like, I was like, yo, did Brian write this? I was like, where did we get this from? But you know what? We did get the arrival of, well, it's on a handshake deal. We got Lio Rush from Double or Nothing, which I thought I was surprised. I didn't think it was gonna be him. I wouldn't say I had a Christian Sting reaction. I love Mac Lowe, but it was like, oh, okay.
I like Lio Rush,
but to be honest, I was more happy about his reception from the crowd because I know the crowd has not always been on his side. Obviously, he's another guy that had reported behavioral issues in the back, the locker room, just because he was like, nah, I think we're in 2020 and I don't want to, as a black man, be seen carrying your bags. And I was like, yeah, I can respect that, but no, that's not how it's being told. You know what I mean? Like different stuff. And then, but the funny thing is, we did get Mark Henry too. And immediately everyone's like, oh shit, Lio Rush and Mark Henry, they're about to finally throw down. I was like, come on, man. But yeah, Leo, he actually said that they already had a long conversation, which I was like, that's great. I love to hear that. I mean,
well, he's a little bit more mature now. He's like,
I mean, I would like to think that 90%, 99% of the time, like even us, you know what I mean? Like, but when it's like Mark Henry and Bubba, Bully Ray doing that's, the Buster Open radio shit. Yeah, you guys can talk on an authoritative perspective because you're in the business, been in the business, given to the business, you know what you're talking about, but you're not actually in the situation. You don't know all of the circumstances at play. You don't know what he may have, the person, and Leo may have going personally. Like there's a lot, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's why I think that sometimes opinions just get way too wild out there. It turns into all this, when I see him, we finna have a conversation type stuff. But it's like about his conversation. Like you want to have a conversation with him about you commenting about his situation that has nothing to do with you. Like, come on, man. Like I feel where you're coming from, but at the same time, I do remember he said that there's a few times, because remember Mark was actually there. He was still with the company when it was going on. So he said that he tried to take him, to the side a few times to try to kind of correct his behavior. But I think again, he just didn't know all the information. I don't know. But anyways, not to overshadow everything. I thought it was kind of cool. We had Mark Henry. I thought it was kind of surprising. But the Leo Rush thing I thought was really cool. I was happy for.
I like Leo Rush, but I think AEW has this thing where every time, like every pay-per-view, it's like, regardless if it's the Battle Royal or if it's something, whenever they have these TBD stuff, the expectations are extremely high. And like, to me, I'm like, with the people that were available, and it turns out to be Leo Rush, it's like,
well, see, I was wondering if anyone else was available. Well, that's true. Because they could have brought Andrade then, but we waited a week. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I like that. I'm okay with that,
because I wouldn't have liked him being the Joker and then him not winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. Like Leo can lose. I guess I think that's the positive. Like they found the balance there. Right?
You still get the pop.
They pop without having to force him.
And it sounds like I said, he's not quite signed, but he has a handshake deal. Same with New Japan, like which is crazy. I'm like, you're working on a handshake deal with New Japan. That's awesome. But I guess he has a handshake deal with them. Same with Tony, because he said like, look, I want to keep wrestling for you guys, but I want to also keep making my days for New Japan. So yeah, it's kind of like kind of a unique deal in place. Which, hey man, you want a guy to keep getting work. You know what I'm saying? So before we get to Andrade, I guess since we brought it up, how'd y'all feel about it was Double or Nothing, right? I don't know why I'm acting like I can't remember.
Are you gonna get into Cody Rhodes' Homelander outfit?
Okay. I thought I was the only one that got that, because my brother was like, "No, it's looking kind of like some George Washington crossed the river type shit." I'm like, I get that.
That's Homelander, man.
But no, 100%, because like he doesn't watch The Boys. So I was like, by the way, no spoilers. No spoilers. I haven't seen season 2. I know I'm late. I'm late.
Okay. I was about to make a reference, but then I wasn't sure if it was in season 1 or 2. So.
Well, I've seen all of season 1. I just have seen 0 of season 2. But
it makes sense that Cody would come out like Homelander.
Well, I mean, it's funny because if that's what he's going for, he's slowly definitely becoming that. He got the bleach blonde hair. He's doing, because to me, it's like, it's now that you say that, I liken that promo that everybody was blowing up about to that. Remember that scene from season 1 where he's at that huge like church like festival. And he's like doing that whole speech, and he's just like, in the name of Jesus, and like just
like just for the pop.
I was like, that's kind of
But then I'm doing this for America.
It was like,
follow me.
Fuck these motherfuckers. Like
him and Hangman would be a good feud, I think, going forward.
I think that'd be kind of. I mean, you got like the American Cowboy versus the American Nightmare kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's kind of cool. I mean, I'm not. Oh, by the way, he's expecting. He has a baby on the way. Hangman. I got a little. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but finna be a daddy now.
Everyone in AEW just dropping babies. Huh?
I was about to say like Kenny Omega's the only one, but then I had to say the only pussy I've seen Kenny Omega with is with the cat. You know what I'm saying? I don't know I'm keeping it facts, but I don't see Kenny having a kid anytime soon.
Are you trying to come up with the title for this episode right there?
Possibly. But I had to add that's the piece of controversy for the show, I guess. But it's funny because I'm not the only person that's ever like everyone. Oh, I put like this. Everyone had this rumor about him and Coda. I'm like, nah, stop. Just
No, Kenny's just a hard worker, man. He outworks everyone. Like that. He's got too many championships to have a relationship right now.
Bockwinkel, what does he always say? Bosh, better than all of them. He's a wrestling god. Like that's probably the only part about Don Callis I like is that part.
He's not gonna get nobody pregnant with that hair looking like how it looks.
What you mean?
Don't nobody want their baby coming out with ramen noodle soup.
Have you seen the V trigger?
No, can you imagine him reading to his kids? And then, what you know? He blew down his house and then like little piggy ran out the back. And like just like I can see him just cutting promo voices on his kids reading, and then all of a sudden at the very end, it's like, "Good night, bang, goodbye." That's how he talks.
The kids just like,
he's like, oh, okay. Daddy's weird. Dad been hanging out with the cat too much again. I don't like this. This is crazy, man.
Why do we live in Tokyo? Like,
why does Dad only speak Japanese? He never speaks English around us. This is crazy. Oh man. But you know what? Yeah, I didn't mind. I'll put like this. For me, Double or Nothing was they didn't overpromise anything, and because of that, it was a little bit above expectation for me in terms of not in terms of the card, but in terms of the execution of the show. The only thing, again, I think the biggest blemish was just that Cody match. And to be honest, watching it, and I watched it back because I reluctantly Tony got some money out of me. I did drop some ducats on it, but I got the replay, you know. But watching it again, that match definitely was the bathroom match. And for once, the women's match was like everybody was into that shit, which made me happy, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, who'd have thought that people will be freaking going to get their beer and shit during a Cody match? But it's like it was the match that meant the least. It meant well, like I put it like this: it's crazy what can happen in a year. Like I ain't gonna lie, like my brother's like probably the biggest Cody fan. I enjoy Cody. I can appreciate and respect anyone that like just what he did with the I left WWE, went and made a name for myself everywhere else, and then kind of, you know, long story short, came together to help make this new thing. I applaud entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? I like those kind of paths of life people choose. But yeah, this booking is on some like super. It's weird. It's hot and cold. It's super hot and cold. Like it's I don't know, man. Like for me,
first of all, this was an AEW dark match on pay-per-view. I don't care what anyone says, because if they announced this for dark, we would be like, that's cool that Cody's on dark. Who's he wrestling? Oh, okay, cool. But like,
it wasn't enough for it to go into
why first of all, when Cody started having this is my thing with Cody Rhodes, and like I said, I'm a big fan. I think that's why I just get really frustrated with him.
Yeah, it's out of love. It's out of love, man.
Is why would you think a QT Marshall factory versus factory feud is the feud that should be booked up to Double or Nothing?
It's not, because the thing is, they have not done anything to make anyone else in that feud feel like worth watching it. I don't give a shit about that.
Everyone's been on dark for an entire.
But who's watching dark? Like my thing is, I know they have an analytics team that could show what, like, from who's viewing these shows, how much of that is crossing over into actual genuine interest for TV. Because at the end of the day, you can see what segments are dipping. Don't tell me that y'all were like, you know what? Dustin shit main event with Nick Camarado this Friday. Why? He showed why, like, dude, like, bro, I'm not hating on Nick, but he's green still. And I saw it with the way he's worked. When you work with a veteran like Dustin, who can still work the way he does at his age, I saw a lot of holes in that dude's game. A lot of holes. And I did not enjoy watching that main event. I don't know why they thought that should have been the main event instead of who they have. They had Pac and Pentagon versus the Young Bucks and shit. Like, they had other matches that they could have put in that place, but for whatever reason, they're like, hey, Nick Camarado's going to do well in the final hour. Yeah, not like, everyone's staying up till midnight to watch this main event. Like, it's already bad enough y'all got the bad 10 to 12 time slot, but it's like, come on, dude. Like,
do you feel like they WWE'd it and said this is a throwaway show? Even though this is the show back from Double or Nothing.
Well, I mean, that's what's weird because a lot of people, they consider Double or Nothing their quote unquote like WrestleMania, even though I would probably say that All Out's more like their WrestleMania, since that's like what kind of, they did the All In. It was unofficial because they weren't an actual company, but then they came back. That's what kind of started the idea, though, right?
Well, if we're gonna rank them, I would say Double or Nothing's more of like
that was their first official
the Royal Rumble, right? Because it kind of it's the show
that's true
that books to All Out almost.
To All Out, yeah, because they have the Casino Battle. I mean, yeah, because they had Hangman. Yeah, they booked Hangman that way.
And then I would say Full Gear is probably the one that doesn't get the pizzazz, but it's usually the best show of the year.
I mean, to me, I still feel like the best show that they put out was Revolution last year.
Oh yeah, and so I forgot about Revolution, so I guess I'm not a wrestling fan.
No, dude. I mean, they only have 4 of them, bro. Like it's, I mean, I don't. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, is it a themed one? Oh no, I don't.
Wasn't there a rumor that they're trying to at least include 2 more going forward?
I'm trying to figure out if because
one every 2 months, I think is the
plan. We were reading something more, like we're reading more up on the Rampage stuff, and I guess they're going to be featuring some stuff with Rampage. Maybe as like special events with that, but I mean that whole moving to TBS deal to me is, I don't want to call it a demotion, but that's what it looks like. You know what I mean?
So what do you think happens with the TNT Championship now?
Well, I heard that they have plans to I don't know, but I what I do know is that Miro cut one of my favorite promos ever, and he looked badass with the belt. So. I mean, he say, special shout out to my hot wife. He's like, don't worry, baby, bringing home this bacon all day. Don't even trip. Fucking, I don't know, man. Like I heard that they're gonna be doing something to, go with the change of them moving. But does the TBS championship really sound cool? Because I mean, that's the thing. The element with the TNT, at least the TNT kind of coincides with Dynamite. Exactly, right? Like. But I mean, just call it the television championship, man.
Or
I never liked that name.
This was my beef with it when it first started. Well, I was like, well, what if they ever switch channels? And then we're all like, well, they'll just change it to that network, right? But like, this is kind of confusing because it's still within the network, but it's now got a shittier name. Like the Turner Championship, like that doesn't sound like good.
That doesn't sound cool at all. I don't want that.
They just need to call it the television championship, man. And then have them defend it on both shows. You know what I mean? So it's like an actual TV championship. I mean, when I think about a television championship, I think about Rob Van Dam in ECW. I think about Booker T and WCW. Like those were the workhorse titles that you would showcase. Like those guys would carry the show for the most part up until like the main event and stuff like that, right? So it's like, if they treat it that way, I could see them actually, what's the word? Kind of legitimizing the belt even more. I think, to be honest, like that belt is a little bit next to the AEW championship. I think that it's 1 and 2. I mean, I'm excited for Britt Baker though. I'll tell you what, that was probably my favorite. I think that was that the only title change? Yeah, that was the only title change on Double or Nothing. But
well, Hangman should have won the FTW championship, but
that's true. I know. I thought you see Ricky Starks. He was like, "Oh, here's the belt." I'm like, "So the belt's on the line?" It's not on the line, but it's just at ringside. Like, oh, okay.
What's the name? Cage still has it. Cage still has his belt too, so that counts.
That's what we were saying. Yeah, we were like, okay, cool skis, like whatever.
Like, what's the point of having it then?
Nobody's ever gonna take it.
It's like, what was it like? Fuck. It's supposed to be fuck the world. It's like, now fuck these wins because we ain't defending it. We ain't defending this shit once. Like, fuck, dude. I don't understand. But you know what? Stadium Stampede was okay.
It was
I mean, I put it like this. I would argue that last year's was better, but to be honest, I don't really think it should be a yearly thing at all. I think it should be like something. I mean, if they already have the exclusivity of being able to run in the Jag Stadium, then save it. You know what I mean? They could always go there. But like, in terms of them wanting to do something big, I guess just for the fact that it's Double or Nothing, whatever. But what bothered me about it was FTR, like for weeks, were just like, in interviews and even on like promos talking about, oh, this ain't going to be like last year's. There's not going to be no what do you say, like skit comedy and all this other shit. Like, this ain't gonna be like Saturday Night Live and shit. And it's like, yeah, it was. Like, everybody had like their own little scene and shit. Like,
Urban Meyer showing some bias for Chris Jericho.
Fucking yeah. I mean, if people don't know who it is, then what good is the pop? Right. Especially when everyone's watching on the fucking screen.
Maybe if they had Trevor Lawrence. I think if they had Trevor Lawrence, the number one draft pick there.
No, that would have been actually, they would have got to do it, and they probably could have done it because of the fact that he fucking owns the team. Like, what the fuck, dude? Oh God! Like,
I need you to make this cameo on AEW.
They could have paid him for it. Like,
and Trevor's like, what the fuck?
He's like, no, he's like, oh, you got a secret practice at
He's like, why would you have a stampede match when you have your crowd back? Like, Trevor's like giving Tony Khan all these. why would you do that?
It's like, well, why are we? Why? You know what made me mad too was the fact that they did that whole thing that I hate that WWE does, is when they do a whole pre-tape, like the Boiler Room match, right? They're like, oh, we just gotta watch this whole thing on the screen, and then eventually, we just came out,
spill out into the ring.
Yeah, as if it was the same day and we're wearing the same clothes. Yeah. And this is exactly.
You know what that reminds me of? Back in the day, they used to do that a lot at award shows. Like, it would be like you watch like
a little intro,
and then Diddy gets out the helicopter. And then the screen opens up, and then
all of a sudden it's like, or it shows like Diddy, like he get in the car and he's driving all, ain't nobody else on the road. He's just murking the streets, and then all of a sudden the stage opens up, and it's like the car just drives out. And it's like
there's no traffic at 5 p.m.
Yeah, exactly. We
got a whole award show outside, but traffic is pristine.
Take that. He's like, yeah. Didn't have to worry about parking for some reason. There's a lot of people in this building, but whatever.
Just pull right up to the stage.
It's like there's no one there. There's no one. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I think that was the only thing I didn't like, was just that aspect to it. Especially when it's like, where's everybody else? I was like, so we got Chris Jericho and MJF on one side, and then all of a sudden it's just Sammy and Sean. I'm like, why didn't everybody else clock out? Like, I'm like, Wardlow's like, no, fuck that, dude. I'm done filming. I'm going home, dude. Fuck that. I got shit waiting for me at the hotel room.
It's super WWE to book the fucking blood and guts match, and then be like, that didn't do it. Let's just have this comedy match to do it.
Okay.
It should have just been MJF versus Chris Jericho or something.
Well, someone was saying that they were like, if y'all knew you were gonna have fans back for Double or Nothing, and the Blood and Guts free Dynamite was just a themed night just because it was only one match that was Blood and Guts, y'all realistically could have saved that match and done it in front of the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And people were like, why didn't you do that? You did it in front of like nobody.
And then they could have done the Stadium Stampede on Dynamite.
They definitely could have done that. And people,
with like when they only had like 5,000 people there or something.
Yeah, that would have been fun. To be honest, that I think people would have rathered that. Like, oh, we're paying $50 to watch this fucking produced shit, or I could watch this for free and pay $50 for this first time ever, Blood and Guts match. Like, I mean, yeah, everybody was kind of like saying that they kind of botched that. They should have flipped it. You know what I mean? So, hey, tell Lucy I said what up though. Yeah,
my wife just walked out the house and she's crying now. So,
don't leave me with him.
Right? He's just doing a podcast. Like,
he's talking to everyone.
He's not paying attention.
He's talking to people that aren't even in the room. This is crazy.
Like he apparently doesn't like Cody Rhodes. Please don't leave.
He's like, he won't even talk to me, but he's talking to people on the screen. I need attention. But you know what? We were talking about the Dynamite after WrestleMania. No, but it's crazy because they were kind of treating it like it was supposed to be a special night. They kept saying, you never know what's going to happen, but we got the introduction of Andrade, which I thought was great. Don't know why they needed Vicky to do it, but I was like, he's not Eddie. Calm down.
Yes, he is.
I was like, calm down, Tony. Calm down. It's like, watch next week. We're gonna see him come out with a lowrider. It's over.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, and then after that, he's like, who's that? He's gonna get beat down, and someone's gonna come out the crowd. It's Chavo. And then it's gonna be Chavo. Chavo Senior is gonna come out too, bro. Like I don't know where they're going with it, but it's weird because you got Vicky I'm like, the reason why I thought it was dumb was I was like, well, Vicky's already managing Nyla Rose, and they're not doing nothing right now but BTE.
Right.
So why
should on the beach?
It's weird because he proved that he could speak in English, A.
Yeah.
And B, like it seems super WWE, and I know like AEW does try to do this thing where they attach people that we saw growing up to people that they think we might not know about now. But I will make the hot case that Andrade, people know who Andrade is because they watched some kind of WWE within the last 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, granted, there's probably some kids in the crowd, but they're kids of fans who know who he is already. You know what I mean? Like,
I would say people know who Andrade is more than they know who Vicky is at this point.
I would venture to say,
yeah.
Nobody was like, "Wait, who's this guy?" And then they went, "Vicky Guerrero's behind him. I'll give him a chance."
I ain't gonna lie though. Like, yeah, you're like, oh, well, that cosign's a one hell of a something, ain't it? Like, yeah. Like, it was weird though because when she first said his name, like nobody like reacted, and I was like. But I don't think anyone was like. I think everyone was like just so turned off by Vicky. They're like, we ain't even gonna listen to this bitch. and then all of a sudden
they were like,
and then it got silent. Like, wait, what she say? Wait, what that bitch say? Wait. And then all of a sudden,
what was his new last name? Okay,
Ella what? yeah. I thought it was good though. When he did come out, he did get a really great reception. I gotta say though. It is fun having the fans back at these shows. It's really putting me back in the element. That's why I'm like, I think I've been like saying to myself, like, I mean, they're both in Florida. Well, I don't know why they're not letting fans into the show for WWE, like on a, for like SmackDown and shit. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not gonna work for Raw when they still got to do that stupid Lily bullshit with Alexa.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like,
well, just bring fans back so they could already just let them know, like, hey, that's horseshit.
This is trash.
Get this off our TV.
Hey guys, we're gonna go to commercial, but while we have you, we're gonna insult your intelligence, and we're gonna need you guys to just act like we didn't just move this fucking swing, okay? All right, cool, sweet, and go.
You move the swing,
dude. Yeah, can you imagine? That shit is fake. Like, oh, dude, I think that's the thing. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna have to figure something out because they ain't gonna be able to pull that same shit, bro. Like,
but I'm gonna say this right now. If you're not having fans, they're gonna have fans next month. If you're choosing not to have fans at this point because you think Alexa Bliss's storyline is so fucking fire that you need to continue it,
that's just as plausible as the Vicky
Where
Guerrero
the fuck is Nick Khan when we need him to make some of these cuts?
Right? Like, oh,
we don't need this whole fucking setup.
Look. Again, we don't want no one to get fired, but I mean, in the vein of some people like that are just head scratchers, while the other ones are just like still getting paid to do some ridiculous shit. It's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Feel like the women's division gets the short end of the stick already, right? Because they get like, it's not like half, it's not like 50-50. So they get like a quarter of the shows, right? And so then when you use your best people on one of the shows, you got Nia, who was built as basically girl Braun Strowman at one point, and Shayna, who was built as a killer, just a straight up killer, came out night one biting motherfuckers. So now so now they're in the tag division with no tag teams because you cut them all. you got rid of the only actual tag teams you had, and so then you split them up to have Shayna go against the girl with the puppets who hasn't fought anybody in like a year, and her deal is
what do you mean
spinoff? Somebody else's deal.
Oh no, Randy beat her. I was about to say she recorded a win over Randy Orton. I'm like, no, that's not true. I forgot about that.
Like, what are we doing, bro? So we're wasting like 20 minutes of TV time for Shayna to sit on the swing.
Not even that, but the amount of time it takes. Okay, we got to set up the next shot. Let's bring in the swings. like
come on, bro. We could be watching a solid match. Like they got girls on Raw who could put on solid matches, but instead we have to suspend our disbelief even further to watch this.
Well, you know what I think is the real bullshit is they're so desperate to savor and just kind of just keep this fiend-ish character when it didn't come from them. It's totally a Bray Wyatt thing.
It's like butchering it.
But they're like, well, shit. If Bray Wyatt's off camera, we gotta keep it alive. No, you don't.
Yeah, it's fine. Just wait till he comes back.
Out of sight, out of mind, bro. Out of sight, out of mind. Like it's if no one's thinking about you, you know what they say, like it makes the absence make the heart grow fonder. It's like if no one's thinking about you, and then all of a sudden you come back. I mean, come back when y'all figure out how y'all gonna be able to execute this shit.
Nah,
you know
check it out. Remember when I forgot who the Fiend was going against, but they were doing something that was kind of cool, but even still they WWE'd it. There were promos happening backstage, but then one of the puppets would be sitting on a crate backstage. But that was cool, but then they fucked it up by zooming into it at the end. So I'm like, if they want to, when they find out that Bray is coming back, give it like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Just start planting those things in the background. Don't zoom in on it. Let us find it. And so then when the internet goes crazy and starts looking through all the clips trying to find the Easter eggs, then it'll build up that hype for him to pop back up.
No.
Do this bullshit every week.
No lie. When he was doing that, because he did it, I think once, only once, if maybe twice, where they didn't do that, where they were like, oh, there they are. Because I remember when I saw that, I was like, yo, that was actually really creative. I like that. Because throughout the rest of the show now, I'm paying attention. I'm watching segments I don't care for.
Yeah.
Trying to see if something's gonna pop off. And I'm like, that's a smart way to get people, you know, to keep their interest up. So, but you know what? We were talking about I hate to keep going back to the releases, but I know we're gonna get into SmackDown a little bit before we get out of here. But look, with the releases, this is the updated SmackDown roster. They have 11 men, and I think 4 of which are look, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Apollo Crews, Commander Aziz, who doesn't wrestle, Edge, who's not even here, Cesaro, Baron Corbin, Big E, Nakamura, and Rick Buggs. Shout out to my boy Buggs, who is not technically a wrestler right now either, even though he does get down. But you look at Seth Rollins and Cesaro, they're already beefing with each other. Baron and Shinsuke, same thing.
That cancels out Boogs.
Yeah, Big E, and Boogs. Yeah, Big E, I don't know what he's doing, but if you want to add him to the other 3 with Sammy, Kevin, and Apollo, that includes
around the IC title.
And that includes Aziz. And so you look, the only person you have left, bro, is Roman and Edge.
Well, to throw this out there, it's kind of dope how tight it is, because then we can have an idea of like when this feud's done, they can move on to this feud, and we don't have to like worry about somebody else getting that feud that sucks. Everyone on that roster is pretty solid, except like even though Baron Corbin's a little boring.
Well, you know what? When looking at this list, there's probably only 1 or 2 like an Apollo Crews and a Sami Zayn that would possibly stay at that mid-card level, but they could bring up a Big E, a Baron Corbin for that world title. Kevin Owens already been there. So, I mean, they have some room to like really push some move some
Roman Reigns doesn't technically have a feud right now, right? Like he's with Jimmy.
Actually, I take that back, because I'm not gonna lie, I think that they're gonna try to have him go up against Rey Mysterio. And the crazy thing about it is, before he beat the fuck out of everybody at the end of the night, I was thinking, I was like, they said, oh, it's gonna be Bloodline versus Bloodline. And I was like, that's kind of okay, that was clever. But then I started thinking about it, I'm like, Rey Mysterio could really be, saying some shit to Roman on just some like, well, dude, I do business with my family too, but that's not how I treat my family type shit. Just having opposing views on how to do family and business.
But I don't want to see
no. Trust me.
Promo.
Trust me. I know. Hey,
let me tell you something, Roman.
It's real.
I've been in this business for 45 years.
Poppy, let me talk, Poppy. Hold on,
I have
son.
over 500 matches.
Son, I'm talking. Hold on. Let me finish the promo, son.
I love you.
Booyaka.
Come down here so I can kiss you in the face.
Poppy, let me talk. Hold on. One last booyaka. Okay, you can go now. Like, it's I mean, like, look, I'm not looking forward to that, but I was thinking, I'm like, I'm not against it, because you got
it's a placeholder feud. It's
June. Because I mean, Rey Mysterio, Giant Killer, he won't win, but is it a good
tossed up? Rey about to mess around.
Word,
but Sciatica gonna be on fire.
I swear to God, though, if Roman Reigns is going to sell 619, I might be done.
No, dude. No, he's going to grab him by the leg. Quote me. He's going to grab him by the legs, and toss that fool. He's gonna like just swing him. He's gonna swing him like a bat and just throw him.
He might catch his feet and just keep the momentum and then swing his head into the other.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie though. Like when he rolled up out of nowhere and Superman punched fucking, I was like, yo.
And I like how the show went off with him just beating the dog shit out
of
him.
Like it showed. I love how it showed the signature. And it was like, no, we got 2 more minutes of this shit. Hold up.
So we gonna get your ass over here.
Get your ass, dude. But so look, check the women's. I think like kind of what you were saying with the men's division, Brian, and with it being a little bit tighter in talent to kind of focus on that. I think that kind of works out well for the women's division here because he got Sasha, Bailey. Well, Sasha, she'll probably be back by SummerSlam, right?
She's in a galaxy far, far away right now.
Yeah, that's true. Bailey, Bianca, Carmella, Tamina, tag team champ, of course, with Natalia, Liv Morgan, and Sonya. Wait, why they got Sonya Deville? She ain't even wrestling.
She's just the best dressed.
Yeah. So I mean, but when you look at it, all you have is Sasha, Bailey, Bianca, Carmella, and Liv Morgan. So you
got 4 people, dog.
Yeah. And then for the tag teams, Street Profits, Otis, or you got the Alpha Academy, the Dirty Dogs, the Mysterios, and the Usos. So that's pretty cool tag team squad.
The women's tag division has done that. Yeah.
I would think so.
Hey man, that's the best thing on wrestling.
Dude, I mean,
ended Raw like 2 weeks ago.
All I'm saying is,
I forgot.
I was legit like, hey, we went through everything, right? So what's going on? They didn't even promote it either. They didn't even fucking promote it.
I looked at the time. I was like, wait, it's 7:50.
This is what Mac said. He said, wait, why is this the cooldown match when there's only 10 minutes left?
Are we getting Bobby Lashley promo at the end of the night?
Why is there a cooldown period? Is there a segment? There must be a segment.
Is there a Randy Orton match I didn't know of? Like,
what's
going on?
What happens? Seriously. You know what happens then after that, right? All you hear, it gets real quiet, and then you just hear beep, the PlayStation coming on.
Yep,
that's it.
Like, so I'm just gonna go and do this over here. It's like
PS4.
Oh man. But one thing I was gonna say is, well, for one, it's hilarious at the fact that everybody Randy Orton like fucking put boots to is now in AEW. Was it Christian, Mark Henry, Matt Hardy? I think everyone but Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair.
Ric Flair about to pop up over there because his son over there.
All I'm saying, all I'm saying is I'm loving these Ric Flair car commercials. I'm not gonna lie. have you seen those?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Like it's just hilarious to me. But someone was saying, and we can end on this, but it was a fan that said, one thing that has me consistently bummed out about WWE in recent years is that there's been a wealth of incredible talent in the company, but they rarely seem to really know what to do with any of it. The latest wave of releases is truly a stunning reflection of that issue. And I'm thinking he's not just with the Braun Strowmans and the Aleisters, but like the NXT stuff too. This is what CM Punk had to say, because I know you love CM Punk, Mac Lowe. But you know what? Hey, but he actually has a pretty good analogy here. He says, it's like a movie with a blockbuster budget and cast, but if it's written by creatively bankrupt nincompoops specifically for an audience of one in a language nobody understands anymore, it's just trash. People will still watch it because they like going to the movies. I don't think it's that far off. I mean, what say you, Lo?
No, he's right. That's what it is. It's muscle memory at this point. I watch Raw because I always watch Raw.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like it feels weird not actively. Like it'll be like an hour and a half into it. I'm like, oh yeah, Raw's on. When I'm doing something else.
Or the reverse. I'll be like, I'm gonna start it, and I'll start it at 5, and then by like 5:45, I'm like flipping the channel, and then PS4 starts to sing right around 6:15. You know what I'm saying?
No lie. There'll be times I'll click over. I'm like, okay, we're doing more of this. Okay, I need to keep doing these edits on these outfits. Cool.
Yeah.
Go right. Yeah, I'm straight. Like, I don't know, man. It's crazy, but yeah, I'm thinking it may be Rey Mysterio and Roman. What else happened?
You're probably right at this point, but it's.
I mean, do we want it? No, but if you're gonna do it, then have them drop the titles to the fucking Usos. God damn it, dude! I was so pissed off.
Yeah, well, you got 2 chances.
Fucking A. And then like, oh man, it's just I don't know. I give my props to Otis this week because he Why do you fuck up the Street Profits so like?
Why you have to steal on my boy like that, dog?
He high key stole
on him.
And then you got fucking Dawkins reacting to his boy getting it. He got just overwhelmed, like, oh, I guess I'm going back. Well, damn, that looked real because it was. Like,
they was off camera. They was off camera holding Montez back. Like, I know he hit you kind of hard. I know.
He's like, don't be knocking off my glasses, dog. All right. Okay. The only that was one thing too that was weird to me is as many times as they on screen associate the Street Profits with Bianca Belair,
back and forth.
Yeah, but without being like, oh, they're married, right? But they, everyone who knows, right? But I thought it was weird how like Bianca goes off the air or goes off, the promo with all these like Baileys surrounding her and starts some weird shit, and then it just goes straight to the Street. I'm like, y'all ain't got nothing to say about that.
Yeah, like
ain't that your girl?
First of all, Bianca should be coming out too. Like, oh man, my husband's got this shit being out him. But all right, well,
yeah,
Bailey.
right? Yeah. Man, but
that's my favorite shit.
It's Bailey, bitch.
So some of the transitions in that company.
When Zelina and them poisoned the Street Profits that week, and then Bianca came to Zelina and was like, "Look, I know it was you. I'll beat your ass." Yeah, that was like the best real shit ever.
Yeah, because I remember she talked to her about it, and all of a sudden she like slowly was taking the earrings off, and of course it was like, I was like, "Oh, this is about to get good." And of course, everyone who don't know that those are the warning signs. They're like, "What's going on?
Yeah,
what's up?
You finna tell me what happened? Or I'm gonna beat your ass, or you ain't gonna tell me what happened, and I'm gonna beat your ass."
Yeah, he was like, "Am I lying or am I mistaken?" I'm like, wait, what? just get punched. Like that shit. Yeah, no, like I said, man, I don't know if Bailey is the right person for her to be beefing with right now because it's just turning me off on.
Yeah, you know what?
Well, everything turns me
so
off.
Good at being annoying.
No, and that's the thing is like I'm not taking anything away from Bailey because she's great.
Yeah.
But the feud in itself, what it's based on, it's nothing. It's fucking dust.
And I think that's the negative of how tight the roster is because now we're at this point.
Now what?
Like we kind of stole the Bailey thing, and Sasha's gone. So what is that? A Carmella feud? We don't want to see that either. Probably. Like we'll see. We're down to see it for maybe a couple weeks.
And they've had when Liv came back when she had those vignettes that was supposed to be a big deal. If they would have carried that the right way, she might have been in a position right now to be a viable opponent, but she's been getting beat up with Ruby for the last 6 months.
She was getting beat up with Ruby. Before that, she was a lesbian.
Yeah, so like they brought her back and they didn't do nothing with her. So now we back in the same boat.
What would be a decent match at the next pay-per-view, which is Hell in a Cell, I believe, would be kind of DXing it and let Tamina and Natalya have a triple threat match against Bianca. Or I guess since we're gonna do Bailey, they won't do that, but down the line, that'd be kind of cool to see Natalya and Tamina in a way like the DX John Cena match. Like, maybe Tamina super kicks Natalya halfway through the match because she has a chance at the.
I could see.
I think that'd be that's a very fun 1 month thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like even if they weren't tag champions right now, I think that'd be kind of cool just because it tests Bianca in a way that makes her legit. And you got two credible. I mean, okay, like I know people are gonna like not bat an eye at Tamina on paper, right? But it's like, it ain't like she a pushover. She may not always get the win.
They can still book her as the powerhouse.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like you still gonna get like it's like who you facing tonight? Eric Rowan, and who am I? Randy Orton. All right, I'm gonna get the job done, but I'm gonna take some bumps. You know what I mean? Kind of shit. Like but I don't know, man. I totally forgot. We got to bring it up, even though I know he should have been gone by now. Adam Cole and Karrion Kross, man. I was looking at your background. I'm like, how did I forget to bring that up?
That promo was fucking
fire,
delicious,
bro. I sent it to y'all right with the ether in the background. I was like,
yeah. Shout out to Public Enemies.
Yeah, dude. I was saying, with the Adam Jermaine Cole. I was like, oh man. No, I loved it. I wasn't mad at him. I mean, because I was surprised that the triple threat happened in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I was like, y'all love making MSK defend those titles in the main event, man. Like, chill. Like, I don't need it. Yeah, 100%, right? Like, if not every other week. But yeah, I was surprised. I was like thinking as everybody was coming out, I'm like, Adam Cole's been gone for a long time. Haven't seen him since that interview poolside. I'm like, yeah, he coming back to screw Kyle. That's all I thought. But then when he hit everybody, I was like, yo, why do you high key take out everybody by himself? And then when he said it in the promo, I'm like, thank you for actually putting that out there, because that's what makes it legit. Like, dude, he took chair shots, fucking 2 last shots, and a brainbuster and a super. Dude, he super kicked Kyle on the way out. I was like, yo, he threw me, bro. I was like, I'm going. Hey, you, bow. All right, I'm going. I was like, okay, all right, but yeah, I didn't expect him and Carrie to get into it. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was thinking that they low-key may have some real heat backstage.
They feel like it. Right? And that's what it should be. It should always feel like that. That's the good shit. Yeah. Because I don't know if they backstage playing video games with each other, or if Carrie in the middle of that promo was like, hey, bro, like, relax, man. You hurt my feelings a little bit.
Hey, man, I ain't gonna invite you back to COD, all right? I'm cool with you. I don't like this shit. You over here going, you doing
either way. The more I can't tell, the better.
Well, because like the reason why I was thinking too, I was like, we don't really see Cross walking out with no street clothes like that. I was like, I was like, his girl is in full gear, like full gimmick, and he's just in street clothes. I was like, this is kind of, I think he low-key shooting. What do you call him, like the gas station something, some gas station attendant or some shit. I was like,
said, you gas station troll or some shit he called him.
I was like, oh, all right. So what you got against gas station people, bro? How you gonna make the next town without gas in your tank then, bro?
Okay. That was a bar though when he was like, yo, they give you the smoke, you got the girl, you got the cool music.
Bro. Yeah.
You know what they give me to make me interesting? They ring the freaking bell.
I was like,
that's what a lot of people's thing is, as Karen is just his interest. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of people, that he's a little bit boring. So for them to touch on that.
Yeah, no lie, because obviously, I mean, I have experience running a promotion. I've booked shows before. One of the last ones I did book or help book and fucking paid for it and all that shit. We actually had Cross on the show. Mm-hmm. And dude was professional. So, like, I know who Cross was. So when I heard he got picked up, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like this guy, because I heard about the shit he was going through with Impact, where they were like not paying him much. And you're like, really? Look at all the shit that he's doing. He's probably the main reason people are checking it out, you know? Mm-hmm. He left, got, WWE, on their radar, got to WWE, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. But then I ain't gonna lie, like, you're right. The entrance was great, grandiose, but the match was boring as fuck. And I don't know if it's because it was no real fans there or what, because that's the thing. If the fans were there and the fans very much know who Killer Cross is before Karrion Kross, like, I can only imagine that reception would have been crazy, right? But yeah, I didn't like because the match he had. Well, I didn't like the match he had with Ciampa, which was his first big match. But yeah. I enjoyed the match with the one with Keith Lee I was up in the air too. But the first big match I actually enjoyed from Cross was his match with Damian Priest. I thought that was a great match. Yeah. But I enjoy him now. I am starting to get into it now. I think what it was trying to train my brain not to accept a different presentation of him. Not just what I've known him for and seen him, just by reference. So now that I've been able to kind of, slow feed myself, like this is what it is, I've been digging it. I really liked what he did with Finn. But yeah, this shit with Adam Cole had me hyped me up, but I didn't expect him to say, yo, give me all 4 of these cats. Let's roll. Well, I was like, oh, okay. In your house, throw away.
And that's the beauty of a really good promo. Because we didn't need, a 3-4 week build-up. Like the one promo, I'm in. Let's go. I want to see it.
Well, see, that's the magic of it is they didn't need to drag it out. He was able to get that build and that hype around it just by talking.
Yep.
Y'all need to teach people how to sell on the mic too, as well as I mean, you know what I mean? Sometimes this drawn out Hollywood writer bullshit ain't it, bro. Like
it's not it.
Like like I said, the fact that there was such a realistic tension between those two, that's all I needed. Sign me up.
And that's what I was kind of hoping for with Bayley and Bianca, because I felt like Bianca was kind of heading in that direction. She was talking about being teased for looking mannish. And people telling her like she's doing too much, because those are real things that she's coming from her real perspective with.
And other people experience that too. So I thought that was a real.
When she was saying it, I was feeling what she was saying. Like you could tell that this isn't somebody just feeding her line. She's not just saying it. She's for real. But then they kind of shit poo-pooed it a little bit with Bayley coming out being silly again. If they wanted to keep it going, Bayley should have poked at that a little more, I think. You know what I mean? To make me be like, okay, Bianca, go ahead. You need to beat her ass. You know what I'm saying? But right now, it's still Bayley being.
I think they had to toe the line because they're Mr. Be a Star, and that's the only thing. Like they're be the Mr. Be a Star, right? But then they'll always book these bully ass storylines.
It's always a bully.
Like
we
Nia
just had a bully. Nia was a bully.
I was gonna say Nia and Lana, and then like Nia did it with Alexa.
Shane was telling Braun he was done.
Yeah, Shane. Yeah,
a month ago.
Shayna's entire like NXT run, right?
Shane's just like, no, fucking release him. You know, I lost. I don't want him here.
He's like, fuck that.
That's how you get on kayfabe. Nah,
he's like, no, you don't. Say, I take my own bumps from the top. He threw me. Fuck that shit. He's out.
I let him have a championship match and then let him go. That's how cynical I am.
Shane's tweet was like, good luck on future endeavors. ... With your dumb ass.
With your bro. Oh god. Like no lie, I would take the Bayley laughing over that shit because that shit was like old.
Yeah, quick. For real.
Oh man, that was like when remember when Jericho tried to get over what was it, Rudy Tootie Booty, when he was beefing with the New Day? I was like, nope, don't do it.
This ain't it, Jericho.
Oh, you brought it up again next week. No, that should be the litmus test right there. Or someone should have told you when you got to the back that it wasn't popping.
This ain't it.
Don't blame the city. It's not popular anywhere.
and that's the issue with, I think, the way the companies ran, because you would think that somebody at some point would have gone up to Vince and just been like, or whoever, Kevin Dunn or whoever's promote. Who's the producer?
Yeah, it's Kevin. Kevin Dunn is like the main.
And there's camera. And there's somebody else who we know of. I'm drawing a blank. Old dude.
Are you talking about Michael Hayes?
No, somebody else. But imagine someone just went backstage and was like, hey, real quick, real talk, this Alexa Bliss stuff is absolute shit. Do you think we should rewrite something for next week? Like nobody's doing that in the company.
The thing is too, is you see on a week-to-week basis that these ratings are getting fucking abysmal, bro. Like, and it's like, I think their third hour last week had a 0.55. Like, it didn't even go to 1 at all. And I was like, I'm not a stats guy with that shit. Like, I was seeing it posted everywhere. I was like, yo, that's bad. But at the same time, you would think, like you're saying, you would think they can take what they put in the show, look to see when the biggest dips were in uninterest was, or disinterest, and be like, okay, so maybe we cut that shit out next week, or try to see how we can bring that up and maybe just do away with that. Since we could just, I don't know, book a former tag team in a singles match and act like they weren't a partner just last week.
Yeah,
fucking live
and I know Bray Wyatt's going through some shit.
Yeah.
I know Bray Wyatt's going through some shit, but you could easily just be like, hey, can you do us a favor? Come on the show this week, Sister Abigail, Alexa Bliss, and then that's how we write this bullshit off, and then you can go back to your sabbatical. Or something like just as the Fiend too, not even as Bray Wyatt. Or find another way to do it, or someone just hits her so hard that she stops being this way. I don't care if it's Shayna or not, but
they had Nikki Cross trying to beat the shit out of her. They could have did that again.
Like
Shayna just like she's like keeps going back and forth between Alexa.
Because it seems like on Raw every week they're like, man, it's not working, so let's look at everything. And then they're looking at everything and like, I don't know, it looks fucking great. I don't know what everyone else's issues are.
They're like, dude, are you not wearing these beer goggles same as I? I mean, I could have swore that the crowd really wanted Alexa Bliss versus Shayna. Isn't that not what they're pining for right now? Like,
and the nervous thing that I have when the WWE goes through these stages is they get to a point where they're like, they look at the wrong thing that's wrong with the show. Like, they're gonna look at it and go, Bobby Lashley as a top champion is the reason why the ratings are down.
That's why the ratings are going down. No,
and I'm like, no, that's not the case. It's just you keep booking them in the same fucking feud, and the rest of the show is an absolute ass sandwich. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
like the last time they got me really interested was when there was a potential that he might, even though I know he's not going to win, but he needs contenders. Was when they were doing the thing with Kofi. I'm like, oh, okay, this is a different direction. I think they would
make sense though. Former world champion.
Yeah. And then there was also the history of like, you got MVP on mic and the character saying, oh, he doesn't deserve to be in the same ring. I'm like, okay, Mister, I'm gonna cry my eyes out when I watched him win live at WrestleMania. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he could bring, there's so much he could bring up, you know. And I don't know, it's so weird. By the way, did you guys see that picture that went around? It was MVP with the Street Profits.
Street business.
I mean, it's a different show, but I mean,
do it.
That would mean that they would have to be a heel, right?
Yeah, but they was kind of working heel low key against the Usos.
But I don't think, they were. I don't think he ain't gonna be able to stand Montez's personality like that. He's gonna be like, yo, can you just turn that shit off for like 10 minutes? I need to think.
But they fit in. No, they don't, because Doc is adamant about not wearing suits.
And then also,
I gotta wear basketball shorts. I don't.
Yeah,
that's it.
Can I just get some nice linens, dog? Like just you know, just a nice summer short. You know what I'm saying? No, like like and at the same time again, because like, you know, you got Montez with Bianca, so he's like, he ain't gonna be hanging out with Bobby and the girls. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, I guess he could. For those that don't know, I mean, who cares, right? Bobby was tonguing down Lana, and everybody was just like, oh, okay.
That was probably the most uncomfortable thing, is because like at this point everybody is like, we know they're married, so it made it look super cucky, dude. And we were just
well, I think the reason why is because he stood there in the ring and watched them the whole time as they go off the air. I'm like, so when do you get off your ass and go beat his ass? Like, bro.
I think, and it's like one of those things where it's just like, we get it, because like, I guess if we're gonna treat this like an entertainment movie thing, that probably happens more often than we think. We're like, you know, you have to watch your girlfriend go on a movie set and make out with somebody multiple times.
Yeah, true.
But so that's the only way. But the fact that I have to reason with myself on that, watching the TV, like, why the fuck would the WWE book that angle? They're just pieces of shit, right? And then you realize it's just.
I mean, and that goes back full circle to when we were talking about the Liv thing, because remember, Liv ended up being at the end of that with the whole lesbian angle, and it was for nothing. Like, it was just, I think like they had like a match like or two like on the Raw or two after, and it was just like done. Because I was like, thank God, because like, dude, we want y'all to do something with Rusev, and this is not it. like we were, man, it was, man. But yeah, they need to do something, man. I don't know what I mean, if we can get the Street Profits over there, that's cool. But you know what? They do need tag teams on Raw. So I don't know.
Who's Raw tag team? Oh, it's AJ Styles. Okay.
AJ Styles and the Almas, which I was like, are y'all trying to make them face? Because we got them facing Elias and fucking was it Riker?
Yeah, and then Elias dipped on them, so I don't know what.
Well, a good filler match too for Bobby leading up to maybe Brock Lesnar would be AJ Styles with almost in his corner, because he's actually bigger than Bobby Lashley. So Bobby Lashley could be intimidated by him, but not necessarily.
He's also bigger than MVP, so MVP can't stop him either. You know what I mean? So,
right.
And by the way, I noticed that MVP is now walking with he don't have the cane anymore. I'm like, nah, keep the cane, bro.
That was really cool. Like,
the cane was a good look. I liked it because no one else is really doing it. I mean, do you necessarily need a limp to have a cane? I mean, it can just be part. I mean, pimps have canes all the time.
The Godfather had a cane.
Yeah, he did. I'm just saying, man.
I just love the fine line the WWE and the MVP ladies and all them storyline is going, because like there's like a fine line between Godfather and like what they're doing.
It's like, so it's you with like 5 women and only one guy. So we're just gonna act like we don't know what you're trying to. So it's gonna be a Bobby Lashley party. Like,
that might be literally the reason why he doesn't have the cane. They might have been like, the cane's too much.
Oh shit. Okay. Where MVP's looking, especially because he has a chain on too.
Chain.
And it's only because
glasses.
I was gonna say it's only because he has the suit on too, where he's like, what's going on with the Almighty? Like, I could see.
I honestly think though it would have been more interesting if they made it where Bobby Lashley has one, but it's every week it's a different chick.
Shit. See, that's kind of, but that's
the champion going into town
and getting the best. Oh, fuck yeah, you know what? That's actually because I remember watching an old segment where they did something like that. I think it was a Godfather where he was like, no, it was somebody else. I think it was Ric Flair. That's what it was, Ric Flair. He was like, I'm here with the most beautiful woman in this town, and I'll be with the next for the next town next week.
I just realized it's the Thunderdome every week, huh? So
yeah, true. Yeah,
he just gets a new Tampa chick.
Like, it's just it's like nah. She from Tallahassee. It's different. Like like she a little hood. Oh, we got Opa Locka in the building. Like,
I got this one from Daly's place.
Got the Daily. Wait, what? It's like one of the one of the girls from like Dark and shit that no one knows.
It's one of the cleaners from Kenny Omega's entrance video.
See, that'd be hilarious. If not, then it's like one of the WWE women that they fired. They're like, didn't we fire you? Like, no,
Molly Holly.
No, that's not me.
Comes out one week with Molly Holly.
Girls gotta work.
Come on, Molly. She's like, it's Mighty Molly. Mighty. See, Mighty Molly and the Almighty. Boom. Right there. Already. There. Got it. Now I do want to see. You think they're gonna do Roman and Bobby at the Survivor Series this year?
Yeah, if they're both holding the titles.
I think they will.
Who's losing, Bobby?
I don't know.
Raw ratings so ass that they could just have one like the week before he's supposed to say Brock. It's gonna be AJ, and then it's AJ versus Brock at SummerSlam. We're like, what the fuck? We waited this long. Might as well just go through with it.
Yeah, I you know what? I don't know who wins because they both do the spear, right? And they both have a submission. So I don't know, man. I wasn't even thinking about they got the Hurt Lock and the guillotine. So
that's why Roman got to get the Usos on the same page, man. Let the twins.
Yo, this is pissing me off. Like as a fan,
get the chip so that you can have two guys in your corner. Versus
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like this is the shit I love to sink my teeth into, but God is slow, bro. I'm like every week, I'm like, dude, are y'all gonna join or not? What's up? What's going on? like it got me
so good.
It has me watching. They're doing their job. I don't know who's riding that storyline. I'm sure they got their fingerprints on it because I'm sure they're putting their spin on it as well. But yeah, there's good TV right now. And
when he called Jay Jimmy, I was like, oh.
Dude, when he did that, I was dude. When I saw no lie, I saw Jay's face. I was like, that's exactly how I would look. And he was like, bro, you know that I'm Jay.
Yeah, that's you just
like long hair, short crop. Come on, you see me wearing my shirt, fam. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. He's already expressed that that's a point for him. So for you as a heel to go back to it and poke it on purpose is genius.
I'm wondering where they're gonna go with this because we're 2 weeks away from Hell in a Cell, which is kind of like, I mean, there was a match before, but that was like that point of origin. That, I mean, you think about it, Jimmy keeps bringing it up, that Hell in a Cell from last year where he got choked out, and with it coming up right now, I think so. I don't know. Do you think they're gonna do like a Uso versus Uso match?
I think it could be Roman versus Jimmy because technically Roman's biggest rival right now is technically Jimmy, if we're not counting all the other bullshit of Rey Mysterio.
No, that's true. I mean, in terms of people that aren't falling in line and not being intimidated by him and constantly kind of being a thorn in his side.
He might have Jay do it for. I think it would be actually better for it to be Jay versus Jimmy in the Hell in a Cell or something like that, and then have Jimmy go over, and then Roman versus Jimmy in July. And then we're at SummerSlam, and then Roman versus whoever at SummerSlam. Maybe all three of them in it.
I can see, because I think after this is Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you put that into perspective, I mean, there could be some. I don't look. I'm not saying one of the Usos is going to win the briefcase, but Jimmy. I mean, Jay's already had title shots against him. Twice? So I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
If one of them won though, and then Roman Reigns is always being paranoid, but he's always like, "No, I got this in check." Like he's saying that, but he doesn't believe it.
Like I can see them trying to do like that, kind of when Triple H and Ric Flair were trying to convince Batista to challenge who was it, Undertaker?
Yeah.
Instead of like challenging him for the Raw title and shit, I was like, okay. I could see them trying to say like, I'm running this show. You can look what I did with your brother. Like you can go and run Raw, and it's like it's abysmal over there. It's like, that's what Raw needs. Jimmy is the world champ. But like if it was me, I would book Roman versus Jimmy, and have some situation where Jay is either forced to turn on Jimmy because of what Roman is telling him, like post match. Maybe he gets involved in a match. I also see that maybe he turns on Roman and walks out with his brother.
So you want a very convoluted storyline that doesn't make any sense, but I just thought of it and I figured I'll just say it out loud just so it doesn't cram my own brain.
What if get it out there? Get it out there.
What it's so bad. What if Jimmy won the Money in the Bank, right? Then Roman gets paranoid, beats the shit out of Jimmy. And then Jimmy actually cashes in on Bobby right before Survivor Series. So Jimmy wins the title there. And then he could face Roman at Survivor Series, but he's also the champion. So he could get his match against Roman because Roman wouldn't do it on SmackDown. So he has to win the title from Raw to finally have that match at Survivor Series.
Just
so
to beat him up.
Yeah, so forced.
I don't know. Because this is my
I don't
thing.
see I don't Usos joining without Jimmy getting beat into submission. Like, there's no way to make Roman change his mind and embrace them without going against everything he's built as a character so far.
No, there's only one thing that would change his mind, and that's if he acknowledges him, like straight up. Like
that's what I'm saying. And I don't see Jimmy doing that without an ass whooping.
He's like, because he's already talking about, oh, you Roman's bitch, all this stuff. Like, you know, I ain't no bitch. And I'm like, you ain't gonna walk that back. You know what I'm saying? But if that's the thing. What if, say, like something orchestrated, like similar to what happened with him and Jay, where like he ran down, to help Jay out, and then he ended up getting freaking pulled. I can see Roman having to do the same thing where he's doing something to Jay. And then Jimmy's gonna have, you know what I mean? Maybe not the same exact situation, but you saw the only reason I say that
a bigger threat has to come against Roman and have that situation happen where Roman's getting his shit dogged by like 3 other guys, and the twins have to jump in to save him, and that unifies them against whatever this other threat is.
I could see that. I mean, because what I was going to say is just based on how Jimmy's reaction was last night, so the way he was choking the fuck out of Dominic, like that's what kind of I was like, okay, I could see him doing that to, like, he's that's enough. You know what I mean? Like the fact that he's showing that he cares. Jay just standing there not even saying a word. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I could see one of something, whether it's he's gonna have to force him to say that at the behest of like him doing damage to Jay or what. But yeah, that no lie, that Jimmy line that Roman delivered was dude. The fact that when he yelled at him, like, he's like, no, I don't want to hear. I was like, oh, okay, he in his bag right now. Like he really, like, I mean, I'm never a fan of this.
Yeah.
I'm never a fan of that. But the way he delivered after it was like, okay, that was nice.
How do you guys feel if Big E, not right now, but maybe like in a few months, Big E starts feuding with Roman and he's having a tough time with the Usos? And then they figure out a way to get the New Day back on SmackDown.
I can see that. Oh, okay. You know what? They can trade the New Day for the Street Profits.
And then the Street Profits are now with MVP and Bobby. Yeah. But I was trying to figure out a way where, like, how does that happen? Like maybe Big E talks to Adam Pearce or something.
Shouldn't the draft be, or the Superstar Shakeup be coming up soon?
You don't have to. I think they have to.
I mean, they don't have. I mean, this is the thing. They don't have to do it, but for the sake of them making it make sense, they can do it anytime they want, right? Like they roll these. Obviously, Hell in a Cell is always like what December.
That'd be really cool. That would be really cool too if it happened on the same day, right? Because they usually still try to have a show on the Superstar Shakeup.
Yeah.
So it's Big E versus Roman. The Usos been getting.
Oh yeah, because 9 times out of 10 they make it seem like both rosters are there, so it's possible.
Right. Yeah. So like they have like this weird, like Big E is about to, like, just run into the ring to face all 3 of them, but then like Adam Pearce maybe comes out and says like, actually, we have a new tag team that joined SmackDown, and then the New Day music plays, and then all 3 of them rush the ring and some bullshit.
I can see it. It's the damnedest thing. We actually got the New Day right here. Damnedest thing. Like it's okay. The only other while you were saying it, I was like thinking of. I was like, I know they have something else besides this shakeup, but I was like, oh yeah, they have that Superstar Initiative that we forget about that they bring up anytime they want. So I'm like, they could do that too. And if they did do that, that'd be literally the one time I didn't mind. for the sake of that. Yeah.
Just for the moment too. Even if it means that they go back to Raw after, like they at least that Big E for one night had.
I mean, it could even be some Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way that could happen, to be honest, is if the Usos win the titles and New Day is positioned to win the titles back.
Or
so you can kind of combine those two.
You could figure out a way convoluted too, is like Adam Pearce gets into some shit and Big E helps him. And then Big E like taps him on the chest and says, "You owe me a favor and I'll ask for it soon." Mm-hmm. And then that favor is getting the New Day on SmackDown.
And the reason why I like that is because there's it's logical based solely on the fact that Adam Pearce is on both shows. So he can make that happen. It's not like it's him on Raw and someone else that he deals with on SmackDown. Like
he has to go talk to someone. He has to go like text Paige, like during one of her like Twitch sessions and be like, "Hey,
send an email to the anonymous GM." You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't got to do all that. Like, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me,
and then on the next Raw, he's like, "Well, to get the New Day on SmackDown, I had to swap another team, and then that's how the Street Profits get the Raw."
Can you imagine in the same week we get like MVP? Or like, "Hey, you owe me a favor, man." And then like on Friday, then we get the same thing with Big E. We're like, what the fuck's going on?
that's how they would book it, though. That's how they would book it.
There's a coup in progress. I know there's some shit up, but the thing is, people would be like, oh, it must be an even exchange. Street Profits, the New Day. I'm like, because everybody was being all whatever about the fact that they switched titles that way. I'm like, who gives a fuck? Y'all stopped caring about tag team wrestling a long time ago, man. Like,
and the thing is, swapping the titles makes sense. Like, they have different colored straps, so let's just
and then they got traded. So it's like the other part too is the fact that like I don't know, man. Like people, you notice that they've been all of a sudden like, oh, tag team wrestling appreciation. And I'm like, y'all hate tag team wrestling. Like WWE, y'all suck at tag team wrestling. So. Yeah. What is like, oh, this 1980, whatever was the first time we had a tag team match. I'm like, who, like, y'all have trained me to not give a fuck about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, all my favorite tag teams, y'all, they're either not there anymore or they're broken up. The only one I'm hanging on to is the Usos. And I like the Street Profits too. You know what I mean? But
I enjoy the New Day when like the New Day isn't part of something that I give a shit about.
Yeah, I like this. Like those, I mean, out of those three though, like I ain't gonna lie, I do enjoy Ziggler and Rude, but they're never gonna give those guys. They're not gonna properly book them. Like you give them the titles, they had I think three title defenses technically, but they were so widespread and you barely saw them on TV. It was just like, well, what was that for, man? Like.
And then they didn't even have a real WrestleMania match.
No, they had the match the Friday before that Saturday and Sunday. I'm like, well, we got 2 days. We can't find a place to put these dudes. Like, come on, dude. Even if it was on the I was gonna call it the buy-in, but like the pre-show, right? Yeah. Like perfect pre-show match to get people popping. Like, especially you got a live crowd, 4 teams, go. Get the crowd.
I wasn't really a fan. I'm not really a fan of Ziggler and Rude. I see them too much. I've seen them too much as singles guys. So when I see them, I just see a team that was thrown together.
I really, and I still like to this day hold the littlest amount of hope that Ziggler will get a proper main event push at some point.
I have the same exact amount of hope. I have probably double that amount of hope that they'll do something decent with Bobby Roode. Because even though the tag match that they had was the Mysterios versus the Dirty Dogs, I couldn't believe that. First of all, the match was that long on pay-per-view when they finally had it. I was like, they should be winning. If they already beat up Dominic, then why are we spending time on this?
Right.
But I will say in the span of me watching the match that Bobby was looking very impressive in ring. And it really got me excited because I was like, I'm hoping that they're watching this match and do something with him. But of course, don't hear shit. Back to radio silence. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. It's like, Bobby did really well as the NXT champ. I like Bobby. I really do. I just don't know why they don't let him fly. You know what I mean? I feel like he could be a really great top heel.
He had it all too. Like he was the perfect WWE.
The entrance, the theme, yeah, dude. Like the crowd. Like, I mean, I did hear that they killed the theme off because Vince hated that the crowd was cheering with it. I'm like, all right,
shit, dude.
Yeah. So we're we can't build stars because they don't connect with the crowd, but once they do, we kill that shit off. Like, come on, dude. Like, I get he's a heel, but
living by the old rules, man.
Well, it's like even if Randy's a heel, people still cheer for the RKO.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
and also to throw it out there, he came up as a babyface.
Yeah. So it's weird. I mean, I didn't like what he was doing with Gable at all. I mean, he did have a brief United States Championship run, but like I said, I just see more for that guy, dude. I really do. I just don't know what. Like, it's again, why have him if you're not going to really use him? Like, just send him back to NXT, dude.
And he's the perfect corporate kind of guy, you know. Like, he's the perfect, like, put him in a suit, make him really cozy with all the officials and the management, and get cheap wins. That's he's been doing it for years in TNA, and he did it in NXT, and it worked. Like, he doesn't have to be like your main guy, but you could if especially in those like slow months, if you need another main eventer. But the thing is, he's basically nobody at this point. Like, I really like him too, and he had the best entrance in wrestling, obviously compared to like Shinsuke and a couple others, but he had a top 5 entrance and a top 5 gimmick.
Like, I know people make the comparisons about Triple H and all that, and no one's saying that he has to be the next Triple H, but you can't ignore the fact that there isn't like when you look at the grand scheme of things, as far as like who they have positioned in certain places, as far as like these new superstars that they're making. But I mean, again, we've talked about it before. It's not the same. There's not a Stone Cold out there. You know what I mean? There's not a someone that's The Rock, but it's like, but you know, is there a Triple H-esque character out there right now? I mean, I'm not saying there needs to be a Triple H, but that guy was kind of beneficial to be that kind of heel to not only like, you know, get themselves over, but it'd be the perfect foil for if they needed a moment ruined by a baby, a face moment ruined by a heel, or if they need a face to get over on a credible heel, then it's like Triple H was a guy, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think they can use someone that's going to be in the suits and stuff like that. Yeah, I know they got Bobby Lashley and stuff like that, but someone like, I think Bobby Roode, and what, they changed his name back to Robert Roode because they don't want people to remember Bobby or what? I don't know. But especially if you're going to change the Robert Roode, that guy is perfect.
And keep in mind too, I know it's 2021, but when Triple H was being Triple H, Bobby Roode was doing that in TNA. Like, it's very similar style, very cerebral, you know.
Yeah, selfish generation and all that. I remember that. Yeah,
like being a heel, you know, churning on people just to get the upper end. And it was when TNA was doing very flashy X Division shit. Bobby Roode was the very floor grounded wrestler that they had there,
and he felt like when he was world champ, it felt like he needed to be the like you know what I mean, like that's where he was supposed to be. Like that
was my favorite era. That was probably my favorite era of TNA was when he was world champ and Austin Aries was coming up in the mid card.
Yep.
And they eventually met. You know, that was one of my
favorite. The whole Option
eras.
C stuff. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, it's like they know he's willing, like he's able. He has the ability to. I mean, he's been on TV. He knows how to wrestle. Like, it's just weird again. Like, why bring him up if you're just gonna, you know, diminish what you like the use of him? Same thing with like Ricochet, right? Like, but the thing is, Ricochet can't cut a promo like Robert Roode.
My God.
I mean? So
I'm not gonna lie, dude. It gets really tough when he gets like really like animated too. Like, I think he forces the animation because he's got to show personality, but it just sounds really bad. It's like, I don't like Sheamus. And it's just like, yo, man,
you better watch out because when that 6:30 rolls around, like,
my God!
Hey, yo, Rick, why are you like sounding out your words? Like, what are you
I'm gonna give it. You know what? Because I'm gonna give it my all. Because I'm a top character in a shonen anime. Like, stop talking like that.
just do a flippy dude, man. Like,
just do flips, bro.
The reason I'm laughing is because I can also hear like that the monologue of someone that's trying to challenge somebody in a fight in anime. Like,
that's what he sounds like.
Sheamus, I'm gonna get you.
Why don't you pick on
this to my friends?
Why don't you pick on someone your own size?
That's exactly what Jay say, bro. It's so bad.
And this is the only amount of time I'm going to put towards this. It did not make sense, the fact that you got Sheamus wrestling 2 matches. Again, once against Ricochet and then against Humberto, where you're like, why are you helping this other dude win? Don't you want to be the only contender? Why you
first? Yeah, that's why Raw sucks, dude. Because like Raw also is in Raw is weird because we watch Raw and it sucks, but we see things that we're like that can be good.
Yeah.
Like we see things like, oh, Humberto's getting a shot. Ricochet's back in the mid card. He's on main event. This is great. Okay, cool. Oh, Sheamus is doing the best work of his career right now. But it's just like the way they do it. It's like absolute shit.
It's absolute. It doesn't like. It's like
Bobby Lashley's world champion. This is great. Drew McIntyre's in the main event. This is great.
This is like a bizarre like Twilight Zone where it's like we get what we want, but then it's like horror. Everything about it is horrible though. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Sean Ross said it's like I think, what did he call it? Like Monkey Night Paul or something like that, because you know the monkey paw story, like when you wish for something, but it comes true, but it doesn't come true the way you wanted it to.
It's like it's like a catch. Yeah, it's like it's this, but it's because of this.
Yeah. That's Raw.
That was the whole Wonder Woman bit. Wonder Woman 2. That was the Monday Night Raw is Wonder Woman 2.
What we gave you what you wanted. No, not how we wanted it. God, you ruined it. Yeah, it's I don't know, man, but you know what? I think I can speak for all 3 of us and say I think we're done talking here, man.
Yeah, I was looking at this time too. I'm like, but we keep saying things that I want to talk about. But we should have wrapped this up about an hour and a half ago.
That's the problem with taking a week off, is then we remember other shit. It's like, I didn't get the sound off on this. This dumb motherfucker. Yeah, it's like, yeah, did you see that shit? Oh, yeah, dude. But no, I want to thank you guys for as always, hanging on this long and watching us, man. I'm sure we kept it entertaining for you guys, and I'm sure we're sharing a lot of the same opinions and thoughts you guys are having, man. And if not, sound off in the comments below, man, for sure. We put this out every week. You can find us on YouTube, and also the audio is going to be on Young Baca Productions podcast network, man. Hopefully he'll be back on the show. I think he hit up the chat. I don't know what he said.
He did.
But
he said he's not very good at doing things.
Oh, well, at least he's owning it.
Not good at doing things.
I know good at things. Like, I don't know.
I'm gonna throw this out there just for our fans to know. Break the fourth wall. This podcast idea was Baca's idea. That's what I'm throwing out there. Like us getting together and doing this podcast was Baca's idea.
It's fun. He hit me up, said he wanted to be able to have a place to talk about this stuff. I approached him with a concept I had. We made it into this, and then it's like, 3 weeks in a row. just no showing. You know, people get fired for this, you know, but yeah,
for real.
Well, we'll see what's up.
Like this podcast is not the same if his dryer's not going on in the background.
That's true. You know what or the fact that he doesn't have to duck out real quick because he has a tattoo appointment to go make. But you know what? I think it's because he's jealous that you hold the championship, so he's like, I hold no power on this.
I feel really bad I did not defend it last.
For double or nothing. I don't know, man. Like I said, on paper we were just whatever. I felt like it did it. It was pretty solid. It was all right. But you know what? Go ahead.
I was saying NWA has a pay-per-view this weekend, but I don't think.
I was just saying, I think again, what Hell in a Cell is next Sunday, right?
MC Ren.
Yellow's back. My dude repping for the light skins. Oh man. But you know, you can feel free to follow us at Flow Wrestling Show and Flow Wrestling Pod, respectively, on Twitter and Instagram as well. Follow Mac Lowe at Mac Lowe, as well as Brian Andrew at Brian Andrew _ and make sure you follow the Awkward Side Hug podcast. And I guess follow Lucy. Is it just Lucy Fur?
Yeah, it's Lucy Fur Hammond. I don't know if there's an underscore at all, but I'm sure there is.
Yeah, you will be entertained.
My wife, she just says cute shit on there and gets like 2 likes. So
yeah, I was watching her trick her. She had to trick her into eating. I thought it was pretty hilarious. I like dogs. I'm one of those guys where like I'll be on my phone at work And people are thinking I'm just texting. I'm like, nah, I'm just scrolling these puppy videos. Just chilling. You know, it's like wrestling and dog videos is what it's all. That's it. That's it. Oh, hip hop. A little bit of hip hop. I rap still, guys. So there's that. But whatever, man. You guys have a great weekend. We'll be back next week, hopefully. If not, again, the three of us, we're the ones that make the show what it is. I'm just gonna put that out there. Three talking heads. I'm calling you out, Baca. We'll see if you answer the challenge. Maybe
ring the freaking bell.
You know what? All they gotta do for us to look like a a couple of studs is ring the freaking bell. You know what I mean? It's press the record button on Zoom. All right. So, but shout out to Baca, by the way. Follow Young Baca Productions. I know he has some shows coming up as well. If you guys are musically inclined or talented in some way, whether it's comedy or music, he'll definitely hook you up. But again, this is a Flow Show. For the love of wrestling, we out. Peace.